Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of Unicorn Overlord. So we were going through last time a whole bunch of rapports, and I think I can do this in one session now. I think, I hope, I pray. How about if this takes me several hours, I'll still go through with it and do every single one. Alright, here we go. Time to make my voice utterly hoarse. Ha! Hey, what's the big deal? You got a problem with me? You can't say it to my face. Is that your Gamel? From where I stood, your physique resembled that of a fugitive who's long plagued this region. Would have pierced him clean through the heart, too, assuming he can't dodge arrows like that. I'm guessing you weren't planning to take him in alive. I wasn't, no. Not only is the man a prolific thief, but a murderer too. One who takes great pleasure in his cruel deeds. From what I hear, he's often been seen marching to battle on behalf of Zenora as well. So if we ever face an enemy who branches his blade with utter glee, then we'll know it's him. It makes me sick to my stomach seeing what some people are capable of. At times I forget you were the same as him once. Tell me, did the guilt of your actions not weigh heavily on your heart? Sure it did. But then I remembered who I was fighting for, and pushed those thoughts clean out of my mind. Can't say I'm much better than the guy you're hunting, really. Crimes are crimes, even if they got good reason behind them. Indeed. I hope you know that yours will be punished in kind once this war is over. Fine by me. I don't know if I deserve palling around with all these liberation folks though then. But at least I know my sister will have some good people watching over her after I'm gone. Besides, Elaine's gonna be king before long, and I bet once he is, nobody will have to survive 5 thieving ever again. I pray you're right. You know, the more I spend time with you, the more I realize how similar you are in Rosalind look. I shouldn't think that much of a surprise. We are sisters after all. Well, maybe, but look, don't take this the wrong way, but I don't think I get how race works over here in Elheim. Well, it is quite simple, really. Our father is an elf, while our mother is a dark elf. And rather than combine their traits like what happens with humans, the offspring of such pairing will either be one or the other. I think I get it. But now I'm just wondering how they met in the first place. I would be delighted to share this story if you have the interest. It began with my grandfather, our former Tyrannos, visited Quintapelt, the subterranean capital of the Dark Elven civilization. She had brought my father along for the journey, and it was there he laid eyes upon the most beautiful elf he had ever seen. Day after day, he returned to the cavernous city to shower her with gifts from the surface. Fresh picked vegetables one moment, handiwork from our finest artisans the next. Must have really been crazy about her, huh? In the time, my mother found herself drawn to the surface, and my father, of course. The two were soon wed, thus dedicating themselves to the good of Elheim and the unity of our races. And that's how a dark elf like your mum, ended up Tonaros. Indeed, but a great many oppose her ascent, claiming only the fair-skinned may rule our lands. Oh my god. Yet having witnessed the love my parents bore for each other, our fellow dark elves came to her defense. Until at last, all who opposed her reign relented. Guess it all worked out in the end. Created quite a tale in the process, yes. Through their marriage, the age-old rift between our disparate races could finally begin to heal. Rosalind and I actually regard it as an inspiration of sorts. The lessons we learned from our parents carry forth in our own desire to make peace with humans, no matter how ingrained prejudice may be in our lands. Well, the good news is we're fighting Zenora, not each other. And sure, some of your folks might not trust us all the way, but plenty more singing our praises when we drove those bastards out of your towns. By the time this war is over and done with, I bet humans and elves will be the best of friends. I only hope I can aid in that pursuit, however minor my contributions may be. I mean, you're literally the leader of the nation, so... Who this? Who that? Sharon and Bruno. All right. I think this is the end of the... This is the last one. Someone help. Bruno, what happened to you? Stay where you are. I'll heal your wounds right away. Appreciate it, Sharon. First, you gotta help him. You poor thing. There. Now it's your turn, Bruno. You seem to have been more severely hurt than I thought. Phew. That should do it. Oh, that was some nap. Wait, where's the goat? Is he going to be okay, Sharon? He is indeed. The little fellow wandered off perfectly healthy thanks to my magic. And you were in far worse shape and even lost consciousness soon after I started healing you. What happened out there? Well, I was making my way over to a blacksmith to get my axe worked on. And that's when I caught sight of that goat getting mauled by a wolf. Could have sworn it was just one, but before I knew it, I was facing up against a whole damn pack of them. Not even a guy like me can beat them odds. So I grabbed the goat and ran as fast as I could, kept him safe while those wolves were biting at my legs. How brave of you. Fella must have gotten separated from his friend somehow. Of course, who knows what'll happen to him once he's back in the wild, but at least for today, he's okay. You only have a kinder heart than most, Bruno. But look. It seems he managed to find his friend after all and came back to thank you. And I'm happy to see it. Well, look who showed up on time. Good kid. Please, do you know I'm a grown man, not a child? Then prove it. Take a look at this. A chessboard? Just like we used to play with it within the garden at Grand Corain. Though it was always a one-sided affair, in truth, every time I won, you'd swear you would finally beat me in our next game. Yet we were cast half a continent away from each other before I had the chance to make good on that promise. I wasn't particularly pleased about being forced to abandon our rivalry when I was so far ahead either. Lucky for us, the time has come for you to avenge your past failures if you can. I can, and I will. You really have gotten a lot better, Elaine. I suppose all this time commanding an army has given you a keen eye for tactical maneuvers. But you do realize... you do seem so upset about winning. What? Tell me something, Virginia. Did you not have anyone to play chess with when you were taking refuge in Dragon Hall? I didn't. They treated me well, of course, as an exiled princess from their fallen neighbor. But even as a young girl, I knew the time for games was long over. You were the last person I faced off against back in Lantorain, but that makes it all the more fun to revisit it now. Why are you crying? Forgive me, it's only that your strategy remains the same as it was all those years ago. It's a cruel reminder of what this war has stolen from you. The opportunity to enjoy life as every child should. You really are a strange one, Elaine. You don't show a hint of emotion over the things said about you, but here you are shedding tears for me. As if you're any different. You're always getting angry on my behalf, regardless of what those around you may think of the matter. Maybe so I'd blame that on a lack of self-restraint more than anything else. Don't think deeply about it. You know, Elaine, there are only two people who can understand the pain we've been through this past decade. Those people are us. No, really, I'm just relieved to know we can be there to feel those emotions for each other. Your temperature seems rather normal today, Celeste. Perhaps you've finally grown somewhat used to my presence. I believe I have, after all these mornings we spent shaking hands. That adventure was well worth it, I'd say. Even if it meant being teased by Lex every time he walked by. Is something funny? Well, I'd never taken the hand of a prince before we started doing all this practice. Every time I do, feels like I've become a princess just for a moment. One with neither castle nor crown, I should remind you. It's strange to think that without this war, we likely would never have even met each other. Ah, sorry, I seem to have let myself get carried away for a second there. I don't say that to reprimand you, Celeste. I merely find it beautiful how even the most terrible situation can give rise to so many fine friendships. And potentially more than that. Should it bring you joy to think of yourself as a princess, I'll not tell you to do otherwise. Elaine, I spent much of my time as a child reading fairy tales, grand stories of royal families and fearless adventurers. Often I would close my eyes and imagine I was a character in one myself. And to hear you speak such kind words to me, I'm starting to wonder if I truly am. It's a fine thought, yes. Then come, we have a song to sing with the animals of the forest. Perhaps we needn't go that far into the fantasy. Oh, this is going to be so much fun. Well, I suppose I wouldn't mind humouring her for at least a little while. Celeste is also a good option, I say. I ship that as well. But come on, Scarlet. It's got to be Scarlet. I have to say, Athelion, have you spoken to Elena at all after leaving Simtoka? Some way to start a conversation. I never did expect you to fall for a human, you know. Though I can't say I don't see their appeal. Still, this separation of yours is rather wasteful, don't you think? There are few things better in life than a good romance. She simply protected me when I was running from Zora, that's all. And if it were a romance, the gulf between Elf and human is far too large to bridge. Their lifespans are a fair shorter than ours, yes, but that just lets them shine all the brighter. I'm sure you know that well enough by now. No matter what prejudices fools might try to convince you otherwise. Enough of this, Teras. All I could ever want is for Elena to live in peace, and staying away is the only way to ensure she does. It sounds to me like you really care for the girl. Maybe you could move to her village after the war settled down. Abandon my post as your personal guard? Never. Athelion, please. It's more to life than duty and obligation. And the more time you spend hesitating, the less you'll have to spend with her. So follow your heart just as I would, before it's too late. If you still want to serve me 100 years from now, you'll be more than welcome. Thank you, Teras. I also ship that. And yeah, Rosalind would be a very good one. Need to check her equipment actually, but I'll do that later. Let's begin, Elaine. Indeed. Ha! Ah, such is the bite of my roll blade. It is an impressive art, one which took all my effort to avoid, even with the knowledge it was coming. Shall we go again then? Would be my honor. Ready thyself, Elaine. Yeah, what was the meaning of this? Are you alright, Gilbert? It is but a flame bug. What are you doing to my leg? Merely sucking out the venom, of course. Do you not have such insects in Drakenhold? If you fail to quickly tend to your bite, it will swell inside and begin to assail you with searing pain. Now, this may hurt, Gilbert, but I asked you to suffer through it. You didn't do such a thing, I assure you. There, that should be alright. That should be all. Do you encounter these flame bugs of yours often? It appears you have a wealth of experience in the matter. As with any child in Cornea, yes. Though, I suppose I did notice a conspicuous lack of insect life back in Drakenhold. Certainly compared to the massive swarms I would often encounter at Palavia. Do you fear them in such the same way Virginia does? You truly are an unusual prince, Elaine. Though I understand now why Virginia approved of you. What do you mean? She didn't mention. As she deemed you unworthy of the throne when you first set foot in Drakenhold, she planned to cut you down where you stood. That seemed rather harsh. Yet altogether unexpected. She had always hoped she would be the one to rebuild your nation, you know? And you've seen the extent of her skill with the blade. Such expertise can only come from years of dedicated training. No, she'd rip apart Cornea as a result. She'd be a terrible queen. And she wished to follow directions in Queen Licia's regal footsteps. But it is a pursuit she would surely resume should you ever be unfortunate enough to fall in battle. Yet be warned, Elaine, she'll not accept your failure kindly. A chilling notion indeed. Can you walk, Gilbert? You should get to Jahila with all haste. Then let us be off. Should the day ever come that Elaine is crowned king, Cornea shall surely be forever changed. I shall the rest of Fabris along with it. Yeah, I think I mentioned it before, but Virginia, as the ruler of Cornea, would cause some kind of war. You just have to insult her a little bit and she'll freaking declare war. Or threaten violence, or cause some kind of conflict between the lordships, threatening violence against them. It's not good. I must have fallen asleep for a moment. And deeply at that, have you been getting enough rest of late? No, actually. Why didn't you wake me up? I'm certain my head was rather heavy on your shoulder. I admit I did consider it, yet you seem so peaceful, Rosalind, without a single trouble in all the world. It feels like it was only yesterday you would lose your composure the minute I draw near to you. Not that I'm complaining, of course, but it's barely even half as enjoyable teasing you anymore. Then all the better in my view. By the way, Rosalind, you were speaking in your sleep just now. Oh, what did I say? Something about wanting to spend more time with you, I assume? Why did she get chosen instead of me? I assume you were speaking of Altalinda becoming the next Tyrannos. I always copied the role, you know. It's only natural when your mother is one of the best this land has ever seen. But none of that matters now. Lenora took my sister from me, used her body for their vile schemes. The thought alone set my blood to boil. And if only she wasn't a Tyrannos. If only I had been chosen in her place. She never would have gotten her mind taken over by that damned witch. Am I hearing you correctly, Rosalind? That you wish such harm could have befallen you instead? Yes, how very unlike me. Either way, the only thing I can do now is make sure nobody else gets hurt. Ever again. Thank you for the shoulder, Elaine. That was a better sleep than I had had in months. I merely pray it was to your benefit. I never got to that, did I? Not there. Oh, there's still some stuff here. And finished. I have a feeling Millet is going to love this. What is that you're painting, Nina? Oh, just a picture of a flower to send my family. An Edelweiss bloom, is it? Your use of colour is quite striking. Do you write home like this often? Well, no, actually. I didn't even tell them I had joined the Liberation at first. I left that task to my sister Millet, but now I think I owe them an explanation of my own. The picture is for her, though. She's always adored my little artworks. I take it you enjoy the hobby yourself, then? I suppose I've never really thought about it. I only ever learned it for the sake of my schooling. A natural talent, huh? If I could ever paint half as well as you, I would gladly retire my sword in favor of a brush. I appreciate you saying so. But did you not study the arts as well? I thought such things were a tradition. At just about every noble house in the land. I did indeed. I would be glad to draw something for you if you'd like. Oh, of course, here, plenty of paper left. What is it meant to be exactly? That chicken standing over there. Yet it doesn't resemble a bird at all. Even I know that to be true. I would have guessed a savage beast, yes, or perhaps a building that's fallen into disrepair. In truth, I once drew a similar picture as a gift to my parents, but my mother simply wept when she saw it but my father remained bedridden for the entire day following. Something of an overreaction to a mere lack of talent, would you say? I don't know. The more I look at it, the more I'm starting to understand how they felt. And when the maid spotted you stealing off with the evening dessert, you wrapped yourself in my garb and fled. Perhaps you thought to shift the blame, yet the jam staining your lips made the true culprit rather obvious indeed. I think that's quite enough recounting of my adolescent mischief. Thank you. Oh, I thought you would be pleased to hear I still remember. I was for the first 20 stories. 'Tis clear to me that you recall every agonizing detail of my childhood. Now I wish to hear of yours instead. Ludwig, do you remember what you told me when we last spoke? How you had forgotten much in the years since I left? Alas, the same is true for me. My time as Crown Prince is but a clouded blur in my mind. Surely you jest. Consider it, Gilbert. The moment I fled Soldragon, my entire life changed. The clothes I wear, the meals I eat, even my own name. It's as though the Ludwig you refer to is another man entirely. In such a light, can you honestly claim me as your brother? I, who chose to wander our lands rather than bear the burden of kingship, a burden which now rests upon your shoulders. I would ask the same question of you. If you have truly renounced all that you once were, what of me? What of me? You will always be the only brother I've ever had, Ludwig, and in my belief nothing can sever a bond of blood. Even should you remain a wanderer come the end of this war, even should I never see you again for as long as I live, yet again I've met with my own inadequacies. You always have the better of me, Gilbert. I can't promise you much, but I've every faith you'll grow to be one of the finest kings Dragonhold has ever witnessed. And if not that, then at least the finest brother. Thank you, Ludwig. Oh, thank you very much. Oh, there's one over there. Rosalind and Lex. Okay. Hey, Rosalind, don't you think you were kind of hard on me back during our battle here? Not at all, honestly. I was surprised you could find time to joke during such a serious moment. Though I suppose the danger Ethelred probably was getting to me a bit. Makes sense to me, and for what it's worth, I'm sorry for messing around. Don't worry yourself over it. We never would have turned the battle in our favor without your help. And I'm not mad at you for it, in case you were wondering. Aha. In fact, I've come to realize that being able to stay positive under such circumstances is a sign of great strength indeed. Well, you really mean that? Well, I must be pretty good if I manage to impress you. You could say that, yes. But if I had to pick one of your virtues above all others, it would be your uncanny ability to lighten the mood in an otherwise tense world. I must be glad to have a best friend as reliable as you, Lex. Aw, shucks, you're gonna make me blush. I'm pretty sure my grandma used to say the same thing, actually. You know what? I take it all back. I do need to go harder on you. Hold on a sec, Rosalind. I don't know what I said wrong, but I swear I didn't mean it. Yes, called her a grandma. I mean, you're an elf. Who cares? You're immortal. You're functionally immortal. If I may, Teras, it's a great honor to serve at your side once more. Do you know how worried I was, Galadmir? When the magic which clouded my mind finally lifted, you were nowhere to be seen. Not by choice. When I returned from my duty, Lorhel had fallen. All I could do was bide my time until the proper moment presented itself. Perhaps that was for the best. Had you been beside me when I was under the Northern Court, I may well have been struck you down. And if I had, I would never be able to live with myself. I'm not one to die that easily, Teras. especially if it were you after my life. My, isn't someone feeling confident? And why wouldn't I be? I've never lost a single sparring match to you in all our years together. You say that as though it hasn't been ages since we last fought. I'm no longer the child you may remember me as, and I shall prove as such in a bout this very moment. Then may luck be with you. That was quite the battle, Galadmir. Indeed it was. You truly groaned at us. Ha 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 ha. What is it? Oh, nothing of much import. Simply struck me how many moons have passed since we've been able to speak like this. Ah. Growing up here in Laurel, you regarded me as anything beyond their blessed Taradas. Yet you never let my title interfere with our friendship. At times you would scold me and Rosalind for making trouble in the palace, while at others you would laugh with us like the third sister we never had. I suppose I would, yes. I was so extremely grateful to have you, Galadmir. Just the same as I am now. Such words are wasted on a failed guardian. Please, Galadmir, I'll not abide any further self-doubt. What matters now is that you are here, and I couldn't ask for anything more. Finally, I get to see some of these. Captain Erlaine, what was your first impression upon arriving in Elheim? It would have been the greener, of course. It's far more wondrous land than Cornea, with a nigh untouchable divinity to it all. At times of solitude, it's even felt as though the trees themselves were likely to pick me up and carry me off to unknown shores. Can't deny the possibility. Our forest is a beautiful place indeed. Yet shall show no sympathy towards those who threaten it. And while Zenora's encroachment may have robbed the Fae of much of their strength, I'm certain they were ever vigilant in studying your actions, and presumably still are. Let us presume then that the forest were restored to its natural state. Would a mere word from your lips be enough to make me vanish for the rest of time? If the breath of evil in your heart demanded such measures, then yes. Yet I can't imagine that ever being the case. Not for the man who was so brave in delivering me from Zenora's grasp. My faith in you shall not waver, Elaine, no matter what events may lie ahead. That's a bit formal. Ah, we're finally getting to here now. Your Majesty. It's quite unlike you to be agitated, Leia. What is it? I finished reading the literature you compiled for me. In truth, each volume was even more marvelous than the last. I had never heard such peculiar anecdotes regarding three-headed beasts before. And I have never seen you quite so relaxed, Leia. Oh, forgive me, Your Majesty. It seems as though I've forgotten my station. Please, you needn't apologize. I actually prefer it that way. It was for this very reason, in fact, that I offered you those books in the first place. For as long as I can remember, the only expression which crossed your face was that of austere formality. And whilst I'll still not discount your devotion to the throne, no amount of devotion will fill your heart as happiness can. But Your Majesty, furthermore, what hope have I of bringing joy to my people if I can't do the same for the woman who stands beside me? Is there something the matter? I wish I could say there wasn't, but I can't overlook my earlier loss of composure. Even if you and I were the only souls here to witness it, the fact still remains. I betrayed our standings and disrespected you all the while. Enough, Leia. Your joy is one and the same with my own. There is nothing disrespectful about a simple smile. Thank you, Your Majesty. I may not always show it, but there is no greater pleasure in life than standing at your service. And there is no greater smile than yours. Damn. Gilbert's got Riz. Elaine Tatiana. Who are you people? Well, 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 looks like we found ourselves a rebel. Just the lucky break we've been waiting for. About time something went our way. You intend to kill me then? Very well. Seems I'll be reunited with Lord Ghislaine sooner than I expected. Just stand still and I'll make this quick. Hope you know it's nothing special. Tatiana! What were you thinking leaving camp alone at this time of night? I thought I told you to stay away from me. Want nothing to do with the man who murdered Ghislaine or a fool who decides who lives and who dies on pure impulse. Can't deny that I took Ghislaine from you. I cut him down with my own 2 hands. Did you? I'm trying to remember. I don't think so. Yet those he sacrificed were not nameless victims. They had families, lives, people who cared for them. Just as you did for him. He no doubt believed his deeds to be a necessary evil, but I refused to stand and watch while your lord made unwilling martyrs of his own people. You know nothing of the horrors that plague are brought upon us, nor could I claim to. All I knew was that I had to put a stop to Ghislaine transgressions. If you wish to call that mere impulse, then so be it. I have taken the lives of countless enemies in the name of this war, lives that would have otherwise endured to another dawn, each of them with family and friends who care deeply for them. While I wish I could protect everyone who calls these lands home, I fear that's not within my power. Yet once I become king, I'll no doubt be forced to make even crueler decisions regarding the fate of my people. So hate me if you will, Tatiana. It doesn't change what I feel or must be done. I'm certain Ghislaine bore much the same resolve. You implied that you and he are alike. Lord Ghislaine would still live, and I only worked harder to finish that cure. But looking at it now, I realized that deep down I was holding myself back. I knew that once our research was complete, my lord would have no reason to keep me at his side, and to me, there was no thought more terrifying than that. Thus I hesitated, and unwittingly brought upon his death rather than fulfill the dream he so desperately yearned for. My hatred for you is purely a way to deflect my own fear, the fear that I could have prevented my saviour's demise. Then hate me all you want on Ghislaine's behalf. I would rather that than request that everyone in this army adore my every action. As if you even need to ask, I wouldn't forget what you did so easily. What is this? The shell of a luna's clam. It has powerful medicinal effects, but only when first bathed beneath the light of the moon. So that's why you were out here. Tatiana? I really believed I was ready to die when those soldiers first surrounded me. But I realized then that I want to live, a notion that grew even stronger when you came to my rescue. Nobody deserves to be sacrificed, even for the noblest of causes. We all want to keep living, and yet... Forgive me, Tatiana, for not giving Ghislaine that chance. You should get back to camp. I still have a few more shells to find. I doubt there'll be any further patrols tonight. Go, please. As you wish. Be careful, Tatiana. I mean... If the patrol doesn't come back, they're gonna be suspicious. I pray you can forgive me, Lord Ghislaine. All I had wanted was to stay by your side, but now we stand separated by the veil of death. While each day brought you deeper into madness, I did nothing to prevent this monstrous advance. But I swear on my life I'll rid our world of that foul disease, just as you had always dreamed. Farewell, my lord. But yes, if a patrol gets taken out and they don't return, the camp will be suspicious and send in more troops to that location. That's generally how it works. They don't just go, oh yeah, there's no more patrols after this. No. There won't be any more patrols after the patrol didn't find anything. I feel I need to apologize for our last conversation, Virginia. What's that? I thought it was cute seeing you cry as much as you used to as a spoiled little child. I'm glad you're the one who ever saw me like that. Probably for the best, yes, but you're free to show me that side of you whenever you want. I'll always be there to take care of you, I promise. And I the same, Virginia. Concealed as you were in the foreign land, there were none you could return to in your times of loneliness. Yet now you have me. Present commander of the Liberation Army and future king to all Cornea. No longer am I the childish boy who could do naught but flee when Zenora struck, nor am I a helpless prince who needs you to argue on his behalf. Share with me everything you felt in your days of solitude, and I promise we shall bear them together. I don't know, Elaine. I just take nothing else for now, Virginia. With me, all you need to do is speak from the heart. I want to go home, back to Grand Cornea, and back to our castle. Promise me that we'll live in Cornea again someday, that we'll do so together, please. I promise, and once we do, we can play in the garden, just as we did when we were young. You have my word. Damn, that's some kissing cousins narrative right there. If I may, Aramis, what do you intend to do once this war reaches its conclusion? What more can a wanderer hope to do than continue to walk the wanderer's path? Even once the fighting has ended, there shall be towns in need of aid, innocent people who seek to begin their lives anew. Indeed, there shall. Yet it's rather an interesting question. You speak as though you're certain we'll be victorious. Certain may not be a correct word, though I assure you I don't plan to let Zenora defeat us. All the same, what you say is true. Peace is but a single thing among many, which Febris needs. More than anything, I wish to bring joy back to the hearts of my nation. Even should we claim victory in this conquest, much work shall remain to be done. I'd only meant to tease you, you know. But the more we speak, the more confident I become in your claim to the throne. I only ask that you focus on the task at hand for now, rather than trouble yourself with what comes after. For if we ever triumph to begin with, such worries shall prove utterly meaningless in the end. And I'll not see you suffer as I had all those years. Agonizing over your future, you mean? Precisely so. Had my father's aim come to fruition, the world as we know it would be quite different indeed. As a young boy, I often found myself gazing to the future rather than coming in terms with the reality before me. I dreamt of ascending the throne, of one day reshaping Dragoncorn into the nation my father wished it could be. Yet when Zenora struck, such dreams only served to cloud my vision, and the man known as Ludwig perished in the ensuing battle. In truth, Elaine, I scarcely even deserve to stand in your presence. For the aims my father pursued were none other than the conquest of your homeland, to seize the disgraced Cornea as our own, thus prevailing in century-long feud between our kingdoms. Aramis, I assume you only ask what I plan to do out of some misguided concern for my well-being, yet I demand you save such kindness for those who deserve it more than I. Listen to me, Aramis. What is it? Think of what you just told me just now. How you wish that I not suffer the same mistake as you. Such advice was not spoken from one royal family to another, but out of the compassion you bear for me as a friend. I care for you just as deeply as those I hold dearest, Aramis, and I must admit I worry for you as well. Well then, not a soul in the world could remain callous in the face of such words. It appears you've outdone me again, Elaine, and thank you. I shall surely continue to rely on you from here forth. Pray do not hesitate to do the same. I won't. Ah, there's the goodies. Nope, nothing further south then. It's a fine morning out the Linda. Indeed it is, my friends. I pray the day ahead shall prove a fruitful one. Something the matter? This distant formality is far more removed from the joyous girl of days prior. I speak of the moment you and the others came upon a rare variety of poisonous herb here. Corny, of course. And what a delightful moment it was, yet such outbursts are wholly inappropriate for one of my standing. There are rules I must uphold as Tyrannos of Elheim, a ban on consorting with foreign dignitaries, chief among them. No matter where my personal feelings may lie on the subject, yet in my view, you seem to be fulfilling the duty perfectly well. When the occasion calls for it, you command great esteem in your role as Tyrannos. While as others, you simply let yourself exist as a mere elf among friends and nothing more. I suppose the issue here is my wishing to be your friend. All you did was express your delight at finding an herb. Finding an herb. Anyone should be free to do the same, no matter what nation they Linda. You misunderstand. I speak not of my behavior when conversing with the others, but rather the emotions I've begun to bear for you. Linda, forgive me. I didn't mean to grab your hand like this. Yet perhaps my doing so is testimony in itself. Proof of the relationship I wish to foster with you. I wouldn't mind were that the case. Ooh la la. Just straight up a confession. Care for a drink, Clive? Lady Monica, sorry I didn't see you there. I hope I'm not interrupting anything. Oh, not at all. And for the record, I would be glad to drink with you. But Monica, and so would Clive, it would seem. Lead the way, Adele. Once this war's over, you think we're gonna start families of our own? Why is there a lucky lady you had in mind? What? No, I mean, I do get approached a lot. But I've honestly never been great at talking to women. But since I was young, I was damn certain I wanted to be a knight. So I spent most of my time on the training ground with sweaty old men, not out in the towns with girls. Same as Clive here. I think you've had enough for the evening, Adele. What do you mean? I'm barely even drunk yet. Besides, I know you agree with me. If only we had brides of our own. Maybe things would be different. All the better if it could be someone gorgeous like you, Monica. Spoken like a true drunkard, thank you. Speaking of betrothal, though, I believe Clive here was once engaged himself. Now wait a sec, is she telling the truth, Clive? Clive, please mind your volume. I was once sworn to be married, yes, but the arrangement has years since been dissolved. You mean all that time we spent in the Ashen Blue, you weren't actually single? But I thought you and me were the same. No moves all our lives. Calm yourself, Adele. Thank you, Monica. Cease this mockery of our past at once. Wait, our past? Yes, I suppose I forgot to mention. Clive's former fiancée is none other than myself. Was that truly necessary, Monica? Adele? Are you alright, Adele? I think the shock may have broken him. Really? Not yet? Still a ways to go then. Alright, let's clear this area. Oh my god, that's so much. There is so much. Yeah, I think that's the whole area there. Oh wait, no, there's one there. Oh, there's another one over there. Oh my god. There's one in there. Oh god. Holy crap. How far? All the way to that town. Anything up here? Anything? We're clear. Okay. I managed to find everything I was looking for, yet I admit it's all rather pricier than usual. Yeah, that's because you got swindled. I'm not sure I understand. I guess it's not much of a thing where you're from. Here in desert, it's hard to come and buy the essentials. The merchants will try and charge you extra for them. The one who conned you must have been pretty new at it, though. The guy could barely keep a straight face. But he still bought the act hook, line, and sinker. There's not a whetstone in the world worth 5 times the going price. I suppose I did think it was somewhat strange. Next time you better off just walking away if something doesn't feel right. You make the same mistake with a seasoned vet and he'll fleece you out of every last on your own. By the way, I turned your friend from earlier over there to the town guard. I watched the whole thing go down after all. Mean to say you witnessed me falling victim to his deceit and you did nothing to stop it? More or less, yep. But hey, at least I got the rest of your money back. That's enough for another 4 whole whetstones. Indeed. Would seem I should thank you. But for retrieving my gold and for alerting me to the myriad dangers of the desert. How about you pay me back for it, then? Maybe we can spend that extra gold on a fancy little meal in town. As you wish, though. Let's be sure to choose a reputable establishment this time, hmm? So yeah, I hope you can forgive me. Is what you've been up to, Magellan? Apologize I warned you wrong when Zenora had you on their leash. That most folk will believe the truth when you tell them what happened. I sure didn't. Got called a liar plenty already, yep. And the ones who did buy it took the whole thing real hard. But I'm finally back, ladies. I'm finally me again. So I can't just pretend like nothing happened while I was gone. Besides, it's my own damn fault for letting Zenora sink their teeth in me. Maybe, but it didn't help when I noticed you were acting funny. All I did was accuse you of turning on us. If only I had just gone over and smacked you out of it. I'm glad you didn't. Imagine how I'd feel waking up to find out you died trying to stop me. Not sure I could keep on living after that. Probably would just end it all then and there. I am coming with. Next time you go out apologizing to people, I mean. But they'll be willing to listen if you got me around. Yeah? Thanks, Liza. I never said you could hug me. Listen, I'm proud of you hanging in there all that time I was gone. You better be. Don't ever think about leaving me again. I won't. Promise. What kind of monster trains in the damn desert? Better just lay low so he can't find me. No better company than a nice, relaxing oasis. So, Jeremy. It's good seeing you, Gloucester. You as well. As I'm certain you're aware, we've much training to do, and no better place to do it than at an oasis. Desert plum brings heightened perspiration, you see, so it's important to always seek to stay hydrated. Not only that, but few things in life are greater than a cold plunge after a hard day's work. You don't say. Alas, the desert chill sets in swiftly come sundown. We must take great care to finish our training before then. Yeah, about that. I've been feeling kinda under the weather today, so I was thinking I might sit this one out. But that's all the more reason to partake. After all, they say the quickest way to break a fever is through physical exertion followed by a cold bath. You got any proof of that? Because to me, it sounds like a whole heap of cow dung. What do you deserve of proof when the light of conviction guides me? Now come, this excursion shall restore you both in body and mind. It might be to find a better place to hide next time. What was that? Oh, nothing. Let's get this over with, yeah? So, they keep mentioning about swimming in the oasis, in this giant pool of water. But don't they also drink from this water as well? Food for thought. Horrifying, horrifying thought. It's grown late, Chloe. There's not much we could have done, though. I mean, it was quick enough liberating that town, but I never thought they'd just throw us a feast afterwards. A fair enough point. The food was rather impressive as well, yet I worry the snack I prepared this morning will have to be thrown away. So that's what you were doing, crouched down around the fire. What was it you made? Roasted jams. Not only are they delicious, but they give me all the energy I need to endure through the day. But if they're really that good, why don't you just eat them now? Although it might not be the best idea to have a whole snack right before dinner. Perhaps we can share them then, together. Better than let them go to waste. Well, as long as you're sure. Is something wrong? Oh, I don't think we can eat those. Yes, it seems I've misjudged the effect of this cruel heat. Forgive me, Yams, for allowing you to spoil in such a careless manner. It's not your fault, Rolf. We aren't used to life in the desert yet. How about next time we cool them off first? Or maybe we can forage for food after our assignment instead of before. Indeed. That's really all you have to say? Come on, cheer up already. Isn't yam supposed to be like really hardy? Why would the desert ruin it? Desert changed a lot since I've been gone. Sure has. Now ask me the old way of doing things died with the boss. It was years ago, but when Zenora was first coming into power, even after they'd taken Dragonhold, they never gave this place a second thought, at least not till we started stealing from him. You'll probably guess what happened next. They sent an army down here to try and stop us. Knowing you, but you made quick work of them. We did, but it wasn't long until they got their hooks on Gloucester. Before we knew it, him and the rest of Zenora were cutting us down, left and right. Me and the boss figured we can still talk him round, though. Trust me, we tried, but that wasn't our Gloucester, not anymore. He killed her Goblin, beat me half to death, too, after that. I can't remember a damn thing. Huh. Always knew the old shrew wouldn't go peacefully. Without her leading us, the rest of the gang scattered to the wind. It's funny. She always used to lecture us to hell and back when we were kids. But looking at it now, she was probably the closest thing to a mom we ever had. Zenora's gonna pay for what they did to us. To me, to Gloucester, and to her. That's the way of the desert, yep. You never forget a debt you owe. Just like she taught us. Is everything alright, Miriam? Princess, yes, it's just no problem at all. You say that, but then why do you look like you're about to faint? I can only assume it has something to do with the desert heat. Have you considered maybe taking some of your armor off just to cool off for a minute? Proud knights such as I could never do something so shameful, my lady. Whether I stand beneath the scorching heat or atop an open flame, this armor is the symbol of my devotion to our order, and I shall never remove it in the line of duty. I should have expected as much from a warrior as loyal as you. Very well, consider this an order from your Princess Miriam. Take it off this instant. But, as you wish, my lady. That's more like it. Trust me, it's for your own good. For a moment there, it sounded like Regine was commanding her to take her clothes off. Perhaps it's best I stay clear of the situation. Anything up here? Can't remember. Nothing by the looks of it, but let me just go look at it. There's a town over there. Can't quite reach it yet. nothing at the shore. You never know. Well, looks like that's the last of him. That's the apology. Never could have done it without you, Liza. Thanks. As if I'd let you keep embarrassing yourself alone. Sure took me back, though. I can still remember taking you around to meet the other scorpions years ago, when you'd only just picked up that crossbow. But now look at you, leading the whole damn gang while I'm barely even on speaking terms with him. What are you punching me in the arm for? Make me think, if you can handle all that, then you'll be plenty fine once I'm gone. Gone? You saying you're not coming back with me once the war's over? Never claimed I was. Still got plenty of work to do, tracking down everyone who left the gang while I was out of commission. And I was thinking. You clearly haven't been thinking anything. You promised me you'd never leave me again, remember? Slow down there, Liza. No. Do you know why I worked so hard to keep the Stalkers together? It was so you could still have a gang to come home to. I really did hate you for turning on us, but deep down I always knew you'd be back. No matter what people said, I defended you, and now you're just gonna leave me again? I'm sorry, Liza, I guess I shouldn't be gone phrasing it like that. I'm not leaving, not for good at least, just gotta make my peace and come right back. What? That's what I've been thinking about, letting you handle the gang while I was gone. Never realized how much you cared about me. This isn't funny, I thought you were abandoning me, Magellan. Hey. And that's what I get for worrying about you. I already said, you're not doing this alone, so don't even think about running off without me. That sister of mine sure is something. I couldn't ask for anything else. I'm sorry, Magellan, truly. Give it a rest, will you? It wasn't your fault, and you know it. All the same, my grief still lingers for the pain I've inflicted upon these lands. What can I possibly do to atone for such a failing? Nothing, really, but I get where you're coming from. It feels weird coming back to your senses only for everyone else to be acting like you never even left. But there's no denying the good you did for our desert. You never turned your back on us even when the whole damn nation was calling us criminals. And somehow, you still want to keep helping them too. A lot of people in this country owe their lives to you, Gloucester. So yeah, doesn't matter what you did while you were gone. We're just happy having you back. Thank you, Magellan. Anyway, enough of that depressing stuff. How about you and me talk more over a nice cold drink? I would be glad to, but first, I shall ever stand in the service of your people, just as I did for all these years prior. Rosalind, eh? Oh, Rosalind, you sure you don't want to stay inside? Of course I'm sure. It's not often I get to bathe in the light of day like this. This ain't any old light though. Sun burns brighter here than anywhere else in all of Everest. You might end up hurting your skin if you're not careful. Well, isn't someone considerate? Just keeping an eye out, same as I do for Liza, for anyone, for that matter. And I appreciate that, I really do. But the blessing of the Fae is more than enough to protect me from mere sunbeams. As for my skin, I'm sure you've noticed I don't look like most other elves. That's because you're a dark elf, yeah? Whole damn town kept going on about how stunning you look. What do you think about my looks? Let me see here. A little close, aren't you? Sorry, just trying to find the right words. When I look at you, it's kind of like I'm staring into the blackened night, but instead of scared, I feel almost calm and peace. Again, you surprise me, Magellan. It seems you're quite the poet. The majority of elves favor the rays of the midday sun, but dark elves like me tend to prefer moonlight instead. Though it does vary from elf to elf, of course. Huh. Doesn't that mean you should be doing this at night then? Well, I do enjoy the moon's gentle glow, but there's nothing quite like standing in the warmth of the sun either. I hear you. It all comes down to wanting something you can't usually get. That's enough of this damn heat. I'm heading back to the town for a nice freezing sherbet. Have fun out here with your fairies and that. That does sound rather refreshing. Let's just hope he has gold enough for both of us. No, I've always wanted my sister to be just like yours. Smart, proper, a good dancer. I won't let you take Prim from me if that's what you're asking. Easy, easy. I'm just making small talk. Growing up, the only people Liza had for robots were fools like me and Auburn. So it's no wonder she's just as rude and crass as us, maybe even more. Hell, I can't even give her a compliment without her getting all spooked about it. I would bet she's simply too shy to let you know how happy it makes her. Hope so, yeah. More than anything, though, I wish she'd have stayed as far away from this war as possible. I guess I got Auburn to blame for giving her that crossbow and my own damn self for teaching her how to use it. But that's how life goes in the desert. You don't have a weapon, you're good instead. Not that I regret showing her the ropes. It's just I'll never forgive myself if she don't make it out of this alive. Have you considered telling her that? Sure have, though I'm betting she'll get all weird about it again when I do. How about you? You thought about telling Prim how you really feel? Better to do it now, you know, before it's too late, I mean. I don't recall ever asking for your advice, but I see your point, and I swear I'll protect Prim with my life, very life if I must. Well, look who's gone and grown up. Feels like yesterday you were just some little brat hiding in your brother's shadow. Of course we were all brats back then. Remember the days we spent swimming in the oasis? You, me, and Magellan. Not a shred of clothes between us. Wish I could forget, but some bastard never lets me live it down. Why'd you abandon us, Albin? I was chasing a dream. Some idea I got out of a storybook the old boss gave me one year. Couldn't read a word of it. Read a word of what it said, mind you, but I always loved looking at the pictures, especially the ocean. Whole thing was about the heroes sailing the world, finding new shores. While most of us desert folk end up turning to crime, I wanted nothing more than to be that hero. So I hopped on a ship, went all over, with one of the nicest captains you can imagine. 'Twas an Irish took our boat, that is. Been living as a merc ever since. That's not what I asked, and for the record, I know all about that dream of yours. I want to know why you didn't take me with you, damn it, you promised. I did. Don't tell me you forgot. Look, even if I wanted to take you, you were what, 7, 8? Ocean's no place for a girl like that. Grr. I did bring you something, though. Some kind of stone they say you can only get outside of Fevris. You think this will get me to forgive you? And you're dead wrong. I don't want your damn rock, and I want your lies either. That could have gone better. Guess I've got Magellan and the old lady to thank for going soft on her all those years. You want an Nexus out of this, huh? I don't know that I can do that, Liza. That's weird. Last I heard, people were saying you're the most skilled hand we got. Alright, fine. Just give me a few. How does it go? Yeah, I love it. Thanks, Getra. Not sure that boring old stone was worth all the effort, but hey, whatever makes her happy. As suspicious? Oh, nothing here then, okay. Rosewater sherbet with extra honey, just like I had with my mom all those years ago. That was some line though, not that it's any shock in this heat. Ah, I can't wait to see the look on Chloe's face when I surprise her with this. Oh, my sherbet. Which way you going, old man? Wait, is that you, Orbit? Old man, you know I'm still in my 20s, yeah? I don't care what age you are. I waited for hours to get that sherbet for me and Carly, and now the only ones who can get to enjoy it are the desert ants. Sorry, didn't mean to make you drop it. But hold on, I'm pretty sure I just feel Chloe make the same damn thing back at camp. Something about surprise for a friend, what she's telling me. Guess that friend is you, huh? She's really doing that for me? Haha, looks like you both had the same idea. But hey, I bet you got time to make it with her if you hurry. I'll even give you a little coin for the ingredients. Make up for bumping into you, you know? I never even considered making something together. Anyway, I should probably get going. And I'm sorry too for what it's worth. Now hand over that gold and Chloe and I will make it enough sherbet for all three of us. Sounds good to me, just don't go getting sick off it, eh? Could you tell me more about the life in the desert, Liza? Well, sure, I wouldn't mind giving you the rundown. But what's the foreign prince want to know all of that for? Haven't you got your own kingdom to be worrying about? Besides, there's no telling what'll happen if you go poking around where you're not welcome. Ha ha ha. You think I'm just making a joke here? Not at all. It's simply that beneath those pointed words I can tell you only speak out of concern for my safety. Just as Auburn has always described you. I'm gonna make the bastard pay for that. Yet your warnings are correct. I understand well how dangerous the desert can be at times. And I wish to know more of it. All the same, there's a necessary step to furthering Cornia's newfound bond with your nation. You've got some weird idea in your head of yours, Prince. I take it that means you're willing to tell me. Long as you really want to learn, yes. Just you wait. I've got stories a guy like you couldn't even dream of. I never grasped how vastly different life in the desert could be. Pretty rough, yeah? Gloucester used to complain about it all the time, too. Can only imagine I'd be sure to speak with him as well at my earliest opportunity. Though I would rather hear what you have to say, assuming you wouldn't mind sharing further, that is. Be glad to, but next time you're gonna have to pay me for it. Then I'll have to come bearing a worthy gift. What, another one? The fuck? Exact same location, eh? Why'd I trouble you again, Liza? You really got nothing better to do, huh? Well, what'll it be this time? I was actually hoping to hear about you, rather than the desert itself. Oh yeah? What good that'll be? I suppose none in particular, yet is it not enough to simply wish to know you better? There's nothing to know. Besides, what would people think if they saw you talking to some random girl from the middle of nowhere? I appreciate the concern, Liza, but I promise you it's entirely unnecessary. I'm not saying this out of some damn concern, but fine, I'll tell you. Which explains why you're so close with Auburn and Ruin nowadays as well. Yeah, it's got them to blame for my personality being what it is. Anyway, we good here? More than. I feel as though I've learned much about you today. And this is for you. The gift I promised to bring you when we last spoke. Cute ribbons. You really think something like this would look good on me? I can't say, but I'm glad you find them cute at least. Thank you again for sharing those stories with me, Liza. What do you mean, can't say? Don't go walking off when I'm asking for you a question. Oh. Another one's popped up here. Liza, you're actually wearing the ribbons I gave you. Oh, sure am. I had to take my other ones off to clean them. So... Well, I'm glad to see them in your hair, even if only as a temporary replacement. Though it comes as a surprise after hearing from Magellan you wouldn't be all too interested in them. You said that, huh? In truth, I was pleased you even chose to accept the gift, so I'm all the more pleased to know how wonderful you look in them. Thanks, Elaine. Magellan was right, that I don't usually go for this kind of stuff. So you better not go telling him about this, or Orban for that matter. I wouldn't dare. Good. Still, no one ever complimented you like that before. Feels kinda nice, too. Did you say something, Liza? Not a damn word. Anyway, what do you want to hear about? I feel like I'm running out of stories to tell you. I didn't come in search of a story, Liza. I'm here because of you. Though now that you mention it... God, can you imagine her as a roll court? Disaster. Pure scandal. It's good to see you picked yourself up again. But thinking about the family I lost because of you, even if it wasn't really you in control, I don't know. I never once expected your forgiveness, my lady, yet I wish to apologize all the same. I'm truly sorry for the pain I've caused you. If you really mean that, then leave, and never come back. A denizen of the desert, was she? Ah, my king, apologies you had to witness that. Please, it's quite alright. It is a shameful thing to admit, but today is the first time I've ever set foot in Drakenhold's desert. I suppose I can't blame you for that. As you know, this land is no longer the penal colony it once was, but that doesn't change how the rest of our nation views it. Many who seek a new life outside the desert are met with extreme discrimination, often failing to find work because of it. Most resort to banditry as a means to survive, thus perpetuating the cycle of distrust. My family owes this desert and its people a great debt. It was the kindness of these sands which saw my parents and I, still an infant at the time, survive being stranded in the scorching wilderness. So I'll not stand idly by while the world treats these generous souls as mere criminals and thieves. And I shall aid them in breaking the chains of hatred and doubt which shackle them. Though try as I might, the nobles of our nation have turned a deaf ear to my unending pleas. All except my brother, you mean. He never has been one to care for public sentiment. Indeed, and owing to my role in Prince Ludwig's Royal Guard, I was able to reside in the desert once more. I bear an immense respect for these people, my king, for their tenacity and their unity. Thank you, Gloucester. Allow me to express my own views as well. Once we rid this continent of the scourge of Zenora, I plan to rebuild our nation from the ground up. The fortress steel of Drakenhold anew, stronger and sharper than ever before. And in doing so, I wish to unmake the prejudice which has long plagued this desert. And when such a day comes, I would have you guide its people forth. You mean to make me the region's lord? I would be glad to accept, my lord, but after all I've done, I could never deserve to rule even a single town. And perhaps I shall entrust the matter to the nobles you mentioned prior, the same ones who refuse to answer your pleas. I understand you feel unprepared, yet I can't claim any different. Even now I struggle to see myself worthy of the crown which rests upon my brow. But fleeing from my duty is not an option, no matter how much I wish to. Same applies to you, Gloucester. Rule this desert with the very ideals you share with me, and its people will surely accept you once more. I must admit, King Gilbert is rather different from his brother, though if any is worthy of governing our nation, it would be him. Stop right there. Well, look who it is. Prince Gilbert's prized hostage. Do you really have to be so incessantly aggressive? That's hilarious coming from you, so you need something? I want to know where you're skulking off to. You're not planning to sell us out to Zenora, are you? Good guess, Princess, but no, betraying the Liberation is not in my best interest. And if it were, you'd never even see it coming. But don't worry, I'm not looking to cross the Prince or Travis for that matter. Heard there's some bandits making camp in the north up here. Thought I'd clear them out before it became a problem. What, that's it? Then let me join you. Not a chance, you're doing plenty already guarding the camp. Besides, I'm not too keen on babysitting a raw pain in the neck. Sorry, not what I meant. I'm just used to fighting alone is all. You dare imply I can't handle myself in battle? That's not it. Countries have gotten enough bad blood as it is, Virginia. Imagine how much worse it'd get if you died on my watch. You don't need to explain my own affairs to me, thank you. I'm more than capable of pulling my own weight against a lowly band of brigands. Suit yourself. Way I hear it, these bandits put traps all over the camp. One wrong move, you'll end up tied up in a cage, or worse. If you insist on coming with, I need you to follow my orders down to the letter. Think you can do that? You forgot who you're dealing with. It won't be a problem. Guess she's actually pretty reliable as long as you keep her reined in. What was that? Oh, nothing. Now come on, we've got work to do. Yeah, by the time I got myself a new bow. Wish it didn't take all my coin to do it, but... Ah! My bow! I'm really sorry, sir. Tell me something, kid. You didn't get hurt there, did you? Well, no, sir, but what about your bow? You think I care about that? I'm just glad you're okay. The whole thing was on its last legs anyway. So if anything, you saved me the trouble of getting rid of it. Oh, that's a relief. Now go on, and run home before it gets dark. Wouldn't want your parents worrying about you, yeah? Okay, bye, mister. There goes my new bow floating in down the damned river. You always have been good with kids, Madrid. I should have guessed you'd be waiting in the shadows to mock me. Shame about the bow, though. I know you had your eye on it for a while. Sure you want to watch it just float away? Heard what I told the kid? I was about to get rid of it, anyway. Sure you were. Here, go and buy yourself another one. Is this some kind of joke? Does it look like I'm laughing? Don't really need the coin anymore. You earned it, mister. Ugh, well, no point looking a gift horse in the mouth. Tending to your feathers, Raylis. Ah, Lady Scarlet. Indeed, I fear they've grown rather dry. What little time I've had to groom myself of late. Can't imagine the dragon hole the air is helping either. By the way, is that what I think it is? The rose oil I used to use when you were a child, yes. Both for myself and for when I brush my hair in the mornings. You always make me feel so beautiful, Raylis. Did I? Well, I would be more than glad to do so again if you'd like. Now you mean I would love that. As you wish. So glad to see your hair still shines like the finest silk in the land, my lady. And to think we could once share the same aroma as we did all those years ago. It is the greatest honor I could ever ask for. In truth, most angels groom their feathers in private. Somewhere none will walk in on. Yet as I stood here earlier, I secretly hoped you would do just that, my lady. Really? If you want to spend time with me, all you had to do was ask. And ask I shall next time. What a resplendent valley this is. I see now why Dragonhold is often said to be the birthplace of dragonkind. Indeed, marvels such as these are the grandest treasures our kingdom has to offer. It is nothing at all like the scenery you might see at home in Cornea. Have you heard the saying, Elaine? That this nation exists in Cornea's shadow? Can't say I have, no. Perhaps Joseph never saw fit to mention it. Centuries past, your kingdom was embroiled in a war of succession between two siblings. Brother against brother, blood against blood. He who lost was banished to the wilderness, left disgraced to start life anew, and so he did. 'Twas then he formed a nation of his own, the nation we now know as Dragonhold. I never knew of such history, Gilbert. Dragonhold is not a wealthy place, nor is its barren soil suitable for crops or cattle. No matter how hard we toil, we shall never prosper as Cornea does. Yet for all its flaws, the people of Dragonhold shall always cling to fast to the only home they have ever known. And the fire which burns within their breast is a flame of rebellion against the comfortable lives our neighbours are blessed with. Once, when I was but a child, we welcomed an envoy from Cornea into Soldraga's walls. My father prepared for them the finest feast imaginable, filled with delicacies from every corner of the kingdom. Yet as they sat themselves at our banquet, the only look which crossed their face was one of disgust. His image sadly burned into my memory, all the while my father could say nary a word in his defence. And seeing as the meal had scarcely been touched, he later bestowed upon the castle's many servants. I had never seen them eat quite so merrily before. From that day forth I struggled to trust anyone who hailed from Cornian shores. But Gilbert, until I met you, that is, your kingdom is a proud one, blessed by bounties beyond my greatest imagination. Yet such inequity can breed hatred, a truth often unnoticed by those more fortunate. Dragonhold is not the only land which suffers, Elaine. Astoris is covered in heavy snow in the entire year round, but the soil of Albion lie infertile with salt. Is it? Didn't know that. It's a bit green for that. Alone has been endowed with great fortune, so I ask that you remember those words. Heavy weigh the burdens of long-standing imbalance on no head more than the King of Cornea himself. Hold true to your ideals, Elaine. Never lose sight of the person you've become, for he is a friend I admire quite dearly. I'll not fail you, Gilbert, nor shall I let the crown change who I am. No, I shall ever strive to be a man you can admire, now and for the rest of my days. How very European. The Dragonhold and Cornea are actually secret cousins. So even if Virginia marries into the Dragonhold royal family, she'd also be marrying a cousin. Ah, there's no escaping it, is there? Royalty just cannot avoid being inbred. Unless you avoid a different race entirely, I suppose. What if it isn't everyone's favourite little workhorse? Please, Berenjar, you needn't patronise me. I'm not, just thought you could use a bit of a friendly teasing is all. If everyone keeps treating you like some kind of perfect commander, you'll always feel like you're stuck acting the part. That would be rather stifling, yes. But you and me, we barely know each other. Which means we're free to just breathe. Be ourselves. Without giving a damn what anyone else thinks. I suppose it would feel rather odd letting my guard down amidst my royal retainers. Right, I wouldn't want to be caught dead talking to my men like this, either. You know, Berengaria, I believe that's the first time I've ever seen you laugh like that. Got a problem with it? Not at all. It's almost stunning in a way. Make fun of me again, it'll be the last thing you know. That's not my intent, I assure you. Just a little friendly teasing, as you put it, but I promise you I meant every word. Me, stunning? Ha. Can't say I've ever thought of myself like that. And I don't think anyone's called me it either, but it feels pretty good knowing you think so. No one has called Berengaria gorgeous? That's fucking lies. No way in hell no one has said that to her. I don't care. Are you certain you wish to join me, your ladyship? I think such markers to be rather beneath you. How many times must I repeat myself? You're always following my every move, so it's only fair we do what you want now and then. I suppose so, yes. As long as you remain where I can see you, I'll not protest any further. I'm not your child, Leia, and I'll lead the way. Very well. And look here, what a cute little sculpture. I never thought I'd see the day you'd call something cute. Let me see it. Oh, it's a wooden carving of a three-headed beast, each faced with their own wonderful expression. One gallant, one terrifying, and one filled with joy. Have you lost your mind, Leia? Where would you even put such a thing? Well, beside my pillow, of course. That way I can see it every morning when I wake up. For me, I think the beast would give me nightmares. But don't let my preferences stop you from buying what you want. Go on. Nearly there. Nearly there. Really? I don't get it. Why do you keep talking to me like this? Well, perhaps because I enjoy your company and the chance to let my guard down, of course. But I'll be sure to keep my distance more often if it troubles you so. Listen to me, Elaine. You know how you said before it's a good thing we barely know each other? Well, there's a downside to it too. Meaning what precisely? There's no telling when one of us might turn on the other. But that's how it goes when you're practically strangers. There's not a damn thing keeping us together, so one wrong move and the whole thing falls apart. Not that I'm planning to put a knife in your back anytime soon, but if Pawnee and Draconold ever went to war again, you know which side I'd pick. Nothing personal. Then you mean to say that all of this was for naught? That you would betray my trust without the slightest hesitation? Or perhaps I've always been a simple pawn in your grand schemes? If that's what you want to believe, so be it. Just know, I really have enjoyed our little chats. Especially when you get all defensive about me deserting you. Is this some manner of joke to you, Beninjaria? Sorry, I guess I'm just surprised to see you care so much. But maybe that means we're not the strangers I thought you were. Let's just hope our countries don't get in the way of that. Yes, let's. That's quite cordial for a last one. Damn. Standoffish even for a romance one. There you go, Melisandre. It's good. We get to see some interesting stuff now. Oh, ha! That should be good for today. But just enough time to head back to town before breakfast as well. Elaine, how long have you been standing there? Only a moment, in truth. I'm surprised you didn't notice me sooner, Melisandre. You're not supposed to see me like this. My hair is a complete mess from all my training. Apologies, I only meant to practice the blade myself, but you were already here by the time I arrived. In that moment, Melisandre, I found myself utterly captivated by your beauty. You did? Indeed. The dance of your swords calls the mind the most elegant ballet I could ever imagine. Sight made all the more magical by the amber hues of the morning sun glistening on the fresh laid snow. Oh, Elaine is even greater charmer than I had realized, but this only means I'll have more rivals for his heart. Melisandre? Sorry, I was just taken aback by your compliments. You were a little more than gratuitous flattery. Please, I meant every last word that I said. The same thoughts occurred to me when we first met. As well, despite your allegiance to Zenora at the time. You've been a keen skill and limitless beauty, unlike most any I've ever seen. It is no surprise you felt confident enough to announce yourself at our own camp entirely alone. I don't think you would have noticed all that. How could I not? With those words in hand, there could truthfully be none more talented than you. What am I supposed to say to that? Melisandre, forgive me. I didn't mean to offend. You didn't. It's just that kind of praise is a special thing. All my life I've been expected to be the best, whether that was at military strategy, academics, or even simple etiquette. I studied every day and every night in hopes of attaining that goal, or proving myself worthy of leading House Millet. That must be a painful memory indeed. It would have been if I wasn't so naturally gifted. To me, schooling was just another chore like any other. Not a challenge and certainly not compelling. That is until I started learning the blade. Everything about it captured my imagination. It was then and only then that I wanted to be the best at something, not for my house but for myself. And to hear you say that actually is the highest honor you could possibly give me. Then I'm glad to decide to speak with truth. As am I, Elaine. Kiss on the cheek, but why did you? Oh god, I'm hearing some noises. Give me a sec. Kiss and shake, probably some comment. How am I even meant to respond to that? Probably a confession by the sounds of it. So next town over, there's one right here. Hey Bertram, want to hear some new battle strategies you've been working on? You've been doing this whole war thing for years now, so I thought maybe you'd have some good insight. I'd be glad to. An elder like me could never turn down the opportunity to instruct his younger generations. Thanks. To start, I was thinking we could take another advantage of how cold it gets here in Bastorius. Imagine if we just threw some water in the enemy and they'd get frozen in place and wouldn't be able to move. Using a natural habitat as a weapon itself is an excellent approach, yes, but I fear preventing the water from freezing before battle will prove far too difficult a task. Ah, you're right. There's no point in just carrying around buckets of ice. If you wish to freeze armor, it would be better to more realistically do so using a sorcerer's ice magic. Good point. No buckets weighing us down that way too. Now onto my second idea. Let's say we're trying to figure out where an enemy base is. Well, why don't we just slip a scrap of our cloth into their pockets and follow the scent all the way back. Another fascinating tactic, isn't it? I got the idea from a book I was reading, though that was actually about dog tracking spells, not pestrels. May still prove an effective method either way, though trying to use it against an enemy with noses as keen as ours would only risk our own safety in return. I hadn't thought of that. A wolf bastard would be on us in no time. Well, this strategy stuff is impossible. Perhaps, but you mustn't discount yourself either. You have strong ideas, Unifi, albeit somewhat bizarre ones. More than anything, I think it's truly amazing just how much thought you put into this. Yeah, none at all. Thank Bertrand. I knew I'd made the right choices coming to you. You mind if we do this again once I think of more ideas? And of course, I'll be here anytime you need me. Because, like, yeah, she put all this time and thought into it, but it only took an instant for Bertrand to find fault with it. But yeah, but against human enemies, that would be great. That second one. Ah, now we get some juicy parts. Regarding our recent conversation, Rosalind, do you mean the one we had during our last battle, or the time I kept from you reading your book? Neither, in fact. I speak of the day you fell asleep on my shoulder. What about it? Can't stop thinking about what you said. How you wish that you had been to us so that Ethelred would never come to harm. And despite your attempts to laugh the matter off afterwards, I can tell you truly meant every word. You would rather be hurt yourself than see someone you care about experience the same. Moreover, you would gladly bear such pain alone before you ever considered sharing it with another. I can't disagree with that. If I had to choose between me and Eltolind, I would pick myself every time. She's such an awkward name. It tormented me to no end, the horrid way that Zenora sunk its teeth on her, and now I have the chance to ease her agony, to shoulder her burdens, and when possible. So trust me, it's better that way. You're wrong. You speak of torment, of the agony you would be willing to bear in her name, but where would that leave you, Rosalind? Knowing this length of an elven lifespan, your suffering would surely endure for a great many years. I won't let you consign yourself to such a wretched fate. That must sound absurd coming from me. Compared to you, I'm akin to a newborn child, ignorant of the ways of the outside world. All the same, I can't abide the thought of you weathering these wounds alone for even one day, for even a day, let alone the rest of your life. Well, isn't this a surprise? I've never met a human with this much insight into the sorrows my kind can face. It's a good thing you sleep talk then. I dare say I'd not have realized without it. All that from a few mumbled words. Very well, Elaine, I'll do as you asked. But might I make a request of you as well? What is it? Stay at my side. Stand watch over my actions. That way I'll know for sure I'm not trying to shoulder everything alone. It would be my greatest honor. Thank you, Elaine. It was merely a dream. I've already performed the rite of competent, and best not consider betraying it. Yeah, just these few left, and then we're done. Then the Lagos. Clive and Monica? Okay. Do you mind if we speak for a moment, Monica? Well, this is convenient. You're just the man I was looking for. Oh, why's that? You're the one who started this conversation. You first. Well, I was walking through town just now and came upon a tea I remember you used to love quite dearly. Of course, I'm not certain if it's still to your liking, but I bought some for you. If you would accept it, I would be glad to, thank you. And worry not, my tastes don't change that easily. 'Tis a relief to hear. Go on then. Actually, perhaps we should discuss my business first. If you wish, what is it? Truth? While I was inspecting the marketplace myself, I happened to purchase your favorite flavor of sweet bun. And do you mean to say that bun is for me? Who else would it be for? Strange how the stars seem to align sometimes. Perhaps we could take tea together. Are you certain you don't mind? I wouldn't have suggested if I did. Yes, I suppose so. I suppose not. Forgive me for dithering. I shall prepare for our meal at once. I wonder how long it's been since we've dined together like this. Far too long, by my estimations. Thank you, Monica. Yeah, Linda Lagos. Where the hell is he? Where is this? Is that it? Oh god. It's just at the entrance of the... Ah. This is so awkward. Is this it? Yeah, there it is. Is everything alright, Linda Lagos? You seem upset. Ah, it's you. Had you and your army not arrived when you did, I would no doubt be one with the Divine by now. It was a welcome stroke of luck, yet I'm well aware that aforesaid fortune would have little chance of striking again. Hence, I was reflecting on that horrible day, hoping to grasp how best to claim victory absent outside assistance. I can see that some of my orders may have arrived too late, but were the orders themselves mistaken to begin with? No, our diminished numbers were surely to blame, though perhaps I should have planned for such an eventuality. There's much to consider if I hope to be adequately prepared for our next battle. You've some strength of heart to be thinking of this while the pain is surely still fresh in your mind. When you've lived as long as I have, you begin to find that pain is nothing but a fleeting sensation. All that remains now is the burning desire to avenge my fallen allies. Might I help you in that pursuit, Lagos? That's more than I could possibly ask of you. Even still, I believe together we can balance out the weaknesses in each other's thinking. And I, too, wish to avoid the needless loss of life as much as possible. Very well, I wouldn't deny the help of a skilled commander such as you. Then let us make for the war tent. We can exchange any further ideas over its abundance of old charts and maps. Lead the way, my prince. He may not seem to have the benefit of my boundless years, but he's quite a dependable young man. Now I saw another one. I'll find it. I'll encounter it. There it is. This rejuvenation magic of yours is really something, Yana. I always thought your older appearance had a certain allure to it myself. Still, are you sure it was the right decision? You lost almost every ounce of your strength in the process, after all. What need is there for strength when you have the slew of brilliant apprentices? It was they who stood by me as I performed the rejuvenation, actually. You may not be aware, but the more powerful the magic, the more time and effort it demands. But in the days it took to forge my body anew, my apprentices never left my side, even for a second. Had I died in that moment, Rosalind, I would have left this world without a single regret to my name. It seems you have quite a connection with them. And that spell of yours sounds almost as wondrous as the miracle of life itself. I wish I could have been there to witness it. It's a good thing you weren't, really. Every eye would have been on you instead of me. I have to wonder, Yana. Do you think you could live as long as an elf if you kept performing rejuvenation rituals? It's hard to say, though I can already feel my magic starting to slip away from me. By the time I'm actually old again, I expect I won't be a witch at all anymore. Well, I can still visit you when that day comes, not for any sort of powerful sorcery, but just to spend time reminiscing with my old friend. I'd like that very much, Rosalind. My princess and I will welcome you to our village whenever you wish. Adele Celeste. Interesting. Adele, wait, that was amazing. Sorry, what were you talking about exactly? Oh, our last battle, of course. The jab of your spear, your russet lock flowing in the wind. Cute little eyes as you delivered the final blow. You're a true knight in every sense of the word, and the spitting image of the great hero I used to read about in storybooks. Oh, that's quite a comparison, thank you. Yet I'm no hero, just a simple soldier looking to keep his people safe. What does it mean by cute little eyes, I wonder? In truth, there could be no greater honor than riding to battle beside one as gallant as you. The ideal picture of chivalry, charging forth with blessed spear in hand. Please, Celeste, that's quite enough, I'd say. It's nowhere close. I'll continue to sing your praises from the first light of dawn till the radiant moon is nestled in the sky's embrace. I'm meant to respond to such fearless flattery. I beg you, no more. No more. Perhaps I let my emotion get the better of me. But she really does look like that hero from my book, The Valiant Adventures of the Red Squirrel Knight. Fierce rodent warrior marching to the battle astride a faithful canine steed. Ah, I can imagine nothing more wonderful. Oh, there's some up there as well. Stop right there, Valbo. Did you forget we agreed to stroll through the woods today? Ah, Celeste. Sorry, I think that might have been a bit too much. Don't worry about it, but I've got to ask, why are you talking like that damn angel does? Well, I overheard you and O'Cleese trading barbs the other day. It's impressive, really. The two of you fight every time you see each other, but you still seem like good friends. I thought maybe her irritability was somehow key to that friendship. You got it all wrong there. First off, me and that angel aren't friends, not even close. You're not. Second, when we do talk, it's usually just her swearing she'll get revenge on me. Wouldn't be surprised if she was around here now, ready to put a sword in my back at any moment. Anyway, important thing is, you're better off not talking like that. And if you're friends with someone, you never know how they're gonna take it. Things go sideways. You might end up fighting for real. I guess there are some things you shouldn't say to people. Not to mention you're terrible at it. And for what it's worth, I think we're friends enough as it is. No changes needed. Oh, in that case, I'll treat you just the same as I did before. Appreciate it. Now, what was that about taking a stroll? Well, let's just forget it, okay? This whole situation's gotten a bit too embarrassing for my liking. Nice try, but no take-backs. Come on, out with it. Who's being the mean one now? One there. Ah, that's the good stuff. Can't say I care much for the lack of meat around here, but this fruit wine is really something else. Oh, it's rare indeed to meet a human who can truly appreciate a fine wine. At least amidst our army it is. Speaking of wine, I hear you elves make a damn good one with the help of this divine tree here. Of Elder's nectar, yes, though I can't claim I've ever seen a bottle of it myself. The Great Spirit only bears fruit once every few millennia, and without any advance warning at that. As far as I'm aware, none of it who still live have actually witnessed the sight. Too bad. Yet you're welcome to pray for a future harvest if you'd like. In the meantime, allow me to fetch a ewer of my favorite stores. Maybe no nectar, but a man of your refined taste shall surely enjoy it all the same. Hello there, Sir Mordred. Have we come to gather mushrooms as well? Huh? What is that wondrous aroma? You want to join me for a little drink? Tell us? Are you even listening to me, Mordred? I'm not done talking to you. I would have thought I'd be getting drunk with the ruler of the elves herself. What is the meaning of this? Oh, I'm sorry for yelling. I just love mushrooms so much. There, I know you do. What have you done, Morden? Not a damn thing I'll have you know. All I do is let her have take a whiff of the bottle, and this is what happened. Girl never touched a single drop. Unfortunately, fumes are more than enough to intoxicate one of her slight stature. Quite dissimilar to a heavy drinker such as you. Don't be rude, Lina Lagos. Forgive me, Teras. Morden might have a big stomach, but he's got a even bigger heart. You better not say another bad word about him or his weight. Actually, I said he was a heavy drinker, not... Another enchanting fragrance, this time coming from you. Didn't you say something about fetching Uya? Hand it over, kid. I'll do no such thing. Give it here, Lynn Lagos. Bears have mercy. Ethelinda? What is it, Elaine? Forgive me the outburst, but I can't say how much expected you to embrace me like this. It's a method I learned from one of my retainers. According to them, the best way to show deep affection for someone is by holding them close and not letting go. That's not entirely incorrect, and yet you find my actions odd. I understand. It's a, it's a difficult matter indeed to accurately study customs not found within Elfheim's borders. Ah, that explains why you seem so uncomfortable in doing so. You're blushing, Elaine. It appears we both are, yes. Perhaps I should have known this would be a struggle. How do you mean? I was only attempting to imitate your traditions as I was taught. Yet all the while my heart pounded in my chest. I meant to be the leader of my nation, but these feelings only make it more difficult to maintain the distance such a role requires. Should our association prove a hindrance into the effort? Elaine, I don't want to maintain that distance with you, Eltalinda. And the more our roles demand we stay at arm's length, the more I want to pull you close to me. I admit, I'm happy to know I'm not the only one struggling with this. But try as we might, there will come a time when we have to leave each other. It is simply the reality of our differing lifespans. Then that's all the more reason to spend as much time together now as we possibly can. You may be right, Elaine. Damn, that was spicy. How would you feel about settling in Cornea, Riddell, after the end of the war, I mean? Again, you find a way to catch me off guard. That wasn't my intent, it's merely that my prior conversation gave me a fair amount to consider. I've concluded that I wish for my kingdom to be governed in much the same way the Liberation is. In my time as commander, I've come to encounter a great many people of various races and walks of life. Yet with the start of each day, we put our differences aside and labor to reach a common goal. Such as the hope I hope to build Cornea as well. I want for you to be part of that, Riddell. I'm not sure Joseph would agree with you there. It is not his decision to make, yet even if it were, he has long since confessed his trust in you. The only words he speaks of you now are those of praise for the excellent work you do in our name. You're too kind, Prince. I know you're only doing this to make me feel better. But in the past I would have hated you for taking pity on me. But now I'm happy to hear you say it. Turns out all the time I've spent with you and your little army has changed who I am. For better, in my view. Whenever I'm with you, Riddell, I feel a certain ease deep within my breast. And so it pleases me to know the Liberation is able to provide the same comfort for you. I've never heard that one before. And I'll consider your offer. I wouldn't want that kindness of yours to go unanswered, now would I? Very formal, that one. I knew something was wrong when you stopped reporting back. Messed up, Gamble. Bad. Well, don't worry, that's why I'm here to take over for you. What about your own responsibilities? What about them? Our last stop is gonna matter if you end up getting yourself caught, you know. Guess not, yeah. Oh, and thanks again for doing this for me. Have you seen Gamble anymore, Clive? Right here, boss. How fare the wounded? Sitting nice and safe in a nearby fort. Took a lot of work getting them there, but I think they're all gonna be just fine. Got word for you from Travis too. He says the noise running out of supplies fast at that we need simply wait their retreat. Better than that to risk our already wear soldiers for further battle. I should be off to alert Travis of the plan as well. Nah, just keep doing your thing from here. I'll let him know what's up. It's very much appreciated. Sorry about earlier, Elaine. Must have caused some real problems for Gamma back there. What do you mean? Well, I got hurt pretty bad while I was out on my scouting mission. So I hid me in an abandoned house, waited for the whole thing to blow over. At least till Gamo showed up and took over for me. What, he didn't tell you? He did Travis quite a favor, Gamo. Found out about that, did you? What'd you expect? The guy could barely move a muscle. Only fair I went in his place. Guess I should have told you before I did, though, huh? But instead I took things into my own damn hands. Go on then, I'll stomach whatever punishment you gotta dish out. That's not why I've come, Gamo. In fact, I wish to commend you for your sound judgment. Had you delayed for even a moment, my order to halt our advance would have come too late, magnifying our fatigue even further. Well, look who's gone all soft on me. I won't deny that I have. Yet this incident only proves I already believed to be true. You're a fine member of the army, Gamo, and a trustworthy friend. Yeah, whatever. That's like Medal of Honor kind of stuff. Beyond the line of duty kind of rewards. Oh, please. What do you have to say for yourself? I demand to be part of your own unit in the next battle, Elaine. I would be honored to have you, yet I wonder, is there any particular reason you're asking? Because you're better than anyone else at staying out of my way, and because we fight well together. When any wrong move could be the last you make, there can be no greater blessing than a trusted ally. You mean to imply you trust me then? I'm glad to hear it. I was purely hypothetical, I'll have you know. All I'm saying is that your skill is adequate, which is a compliment in itself coming from you. Thank you, Eccles. You've got some nerve. Take it however you want. And I confess, I trust deeply in you as well. Each of us bears strong proficiency with shield, allowing us to press the attack while keeping our defenses raised. And given the swiftness of your blade and the precision of its thrust, I know I never need to worry when you're at my side. Ah. Eccles, that's how you really feel, then you'd best keep me there. At your side, I mean. You had best not think of doing otherwise, understand? I didn't realize she cared so much. I've been wondering, Raynor, is there a reason you elves stay kinda light on the armor? There is. The Fae who grant us their blessing despise the peril of iron and steel, so we dress ourselves in as little of it as possible. But doesn't that mean you get hurt more easily? If the enemy is able to hit us, yes, but fences such as I prefer to evade attacks rather than guard them. And as I mentioned before, the Fae can bestow upon us the protection of the wind. Whoa. In battles between fellow elves, arrows are the greatest thing to our safety, yet the wind protection allows us to nullify their strength and close great distance in the blink of an eye. Even still, this manner of combat poses quite a substantial problem, one which became all too apparent when Zenorian armor-clad forces overran our nation. Try as we might, none of our usual tactics would ever surmount to their defenses. Our pride was our downfall, as was the keen adaptability of humans such as yourselves. You would do well to make use of such a valuable trait. I didn't realize that was that much to it, and here I could have sworn they just liked how it looked. Ugh. Friend, what seems to be the matter? Well, today was my turn to handle the laundry. But a few minutes ago, a sudden wind blew all of our clean clothes straight into the dirt. I only just finished gathering everything back up now. And even if I were to wash it all again, our clothes would never be dry by the time we set off from camp. That's some afternoon, yes? I might have an idea that can help, though. Once we've rewashed everything, try asking one of our sorcerers to conjure up fire. Then we can Have our griffins fan the flames across, and they'll be dry before you know it. I'm not sure my luck can handle fire today. Honestly, we'd be more likely to torch the entire garrison. Then let's just fan everything instead. Me, you, and our griffins. That should get it all nice and dry again before sundown. The others might even come lend a hand if they know how hard we're working out here. You'd really do that for me? Of course I would. I've been hoping for 4 of us could become friends someday anyway. So let's get to work. I swear those things respawn. Oh, hello there, Ocles. Feels as though I've been seeing much of you lately, even outside of battle. Then it seems your feelings are playing tricks on you. At any rate, you needn't mind me. I'm just out looking for something is all. And what is it you're after, exactly? The search will go twice as fast if we work together. I'm not here to answer your questions, Elaine. Now stay out of my way, and I'll stay out of yours. Very well, if that's what you wish. Why do you insist on following me, Ocles? What was I meant to do? I leave you in the forest to fend for yourself? You told me before that you trusted in my skill as a warrior, but it appears you're hardly more than a cruel lie. It's clear now that you think me too helpless to even leave camp alone. That's not true. You bear great strength, Elaine. Great enough to overcome almost any challenge that arrives up before you. Yet our enemy is a deceptive one, and will stop at nothing to see you slain. Don't you understand? Ha ha ha. Why do you laugh unless... Forgive me, please. I only said what I did in order to gauge your reaction. You mean this was all your carefully laid trap? You just walked straight into it. Indeed, though that's perhaps not how I would choose to phrase the matter. In any case, I think I'm finally starting to understand you a little better. And thank you for always worrying about me. God, the enemy be damned. There's only one deceptive fool in this forest, and he's standing directly before me. I'm sorry, Ocles. I meant no harm. Now, I beg of you, lay down your sword. You'll have to try harder than that if you wish to escape my wrath. I'll make you rue the day you ever dared cross me. God. She uses a sword, but she's a right battle axe, that one. Oh, I have all this to grind. But it's fine. Really? Oh, so I could still get Amalia, but I don't get any deep conversations with her. They just have to be female. I can't even do that yet. Chloe! It's gonna be like 3 hours. It's gorgeous, isn't it? I almost forgot we're at war, staring out at the water like this. Me too. Been too long since we've had the chance to breathe, you know? It has. Listen, Scarlet, you don't need to spend the entire time pouting just because His Majesty declined your invitation. That's not... I know he's busy as well, but I still can't believe he would turn you down so easily. Would you like me to yell at him for you? You don't need to do that, Chloe, though I do appreciate the offer. It just makes me a little anxious sometimes. Understandably so, things are nothing like they used to be in Polavia. Life was so easy then, so fun. But now here he is, marching us on to a brighter future, while I'm struggling to just follow in his wake. Enough of this modesty, Scarlet. You have a beautiful heart, pure and clear as this very lake. One of these days, His Majesty is going to realize that. we're talking about beauty, I think you have had me beat, Chloe. Huh? You know, I'm the one who's supposed to be consoling you, right? Anyway, care to eat something? I packed a nice big lunch for us before we left. That would be lovely. Leia's always so willing to do anything I ask her, but I wonder if there's a limit to how far she'll go. Perhaps I'll put that to a little test. Oh, Leia, I just had a sudden craving for fish, and I was hoping I might catch and cook one for myself. Would you care to join me? Glad to, your ladyship, as long as we stay within relative proximity to the fort. Then come, we have a pony and trout to hook. If you don't mind, Leia, I was thinking we might head into the mountains to ensnare a local boar next. Once we've returned with our quarry, we can roast it whole for a nice hearty meal. As you wish. I'll summon one of the hunters at once and prepare our packs for a productive journey. Thank you. I look forward to it. Tell me something, Leia. Why do you not flinch in the face of my exorbitant demands? I'm not certain what you mean. I've grown quite accustomed to your whims over the years. Today's requests are no different. Are you saying I'm always this unreasonable? For me, my princess, serving you as your attendant is already far beyond my duty to the Drakenhold throne. In light of that truth, nothing you ask could be too excessive. A fair point, I suppose. Yet I admit there has been some occasion where I felt you overstepped your welcome. Oh yeah? All the same, I've witnessed firsthand how truly fearless you can be as well. This is a trait that has granted me more courage than you might think, and one which makes me forever proud to serve at your side, my princess. That's how you feel, is it? In that case, I'm glad. I'm glad I got plenty more requests where that came from. And no one else I would rather turn to than you, Leia. Thank you, your ladyship, though do try to keep them within reason, would you? And I've lost what the hell Lex was supposed to be. Where is it supposed to be? I'm lost. It's supposed to be here somewhere. Where is it? Is that it? That's Penarice and Clive, but I'll take it. I won't forgive this. Forget this. Yeah, just keep walking if you know what's good for you. Penarice, what's going on here? Oh, that, just a little scuffle is all. Ah, thank you, ma'am. I believe I understand now. You stepped in to assist that girl. Judging by appearances, I can only assume you did so through force, not words. A noble deed marred by our most ignoble methodology. Yeah, it's not the best luck, but you and I both know I've never been too big on tact. Be that as it may, there are more means to solve an issue than with your fists. Either way, a little chat wouldn't have helped much here. Black eyes and bruises is the only language a guy like that talks. Perhaps so, yes. Still, it's a point well taken. I'll keep it in mind next time, yeah? Can't promise it'll turn out any different, though. Whatever shall I do with you, Berenice? Berenice? Berenice. That's what it is. Let's try again. See if I can find it this time. Oh, Scarlet. Okay, yeah. That makes sense. It's not Lex. Wow, this is the Valley Shallow, huh? Just as I remember from all those years ago, yes. Did you spend a lot of time here? When you were young, I mean. Now then, a friend and I used to race to see who could run across it the fastest. And in the summer months, we'd leap from the bullet trade and cool ourselves down in the river. I can picture it now, plain as day. Chloe? When I first found out you were the Pontifex's daughter, it came as a real shock, you know. I'm sorry for keeping it from you. That's not what I mean. I don't think I would have told anyone either if it was in your position. I guess what I'm saying is, it feels like there's this distance between us now. What I'm not sure we'll ever be able to repair. You say that, Chloe, but nothing has changed between us. I'm the same person I've always been. I know you are. But what am I? It feels hurt, knowing I was oblivious to such an important part of you. That's not the kind of friend I want to be. I didn't realize you were so taken with me, Chloe. This isn't a joke. Sorry, I couldn't help. I really am happy to hear you say it. Then maybe you can tell me some more about your life in Albion. I'll be glad to. Good, now come with me. Where to? I was thinking you could share those stories of yours over a snack in the bridge. That sounds perfect, Chloe, just when I was thinking of getting hungry too. I knew you'd say that. Are you really that predictable? Evening, Joseph. I was just thinking about the priest back in Palavia. He's a friend of yours, yes? Indeed, a former knight and a rather defiant one at that. I never thought he could trade his blade for the sacred investment. I learned a great deal from him, you know. He was always such a large presence in my life, kind of course, but intimidating at times. It seems he was blessed with a far greater student than he deserved. He also told me lots of stories about when you were young. What? I always used to challenge anyone who would hold a sword to a duel. Or the way you would hold drinking contests when you ran out of gold, then make the loser pay for your lodging. Well, the time you accidentally courted the daughter of a notorious bandit. He said the man tried to have your head for it, but the two of you stormed his stronghold and decimated his entire band instead. He always seemed to enjoy sharing those stories too. Yes, I imagined he would. Oh, come now, we all do mindless things when we're young. Though it's still surprised to hear you were such a little troublemaker. Hee hee. What right did that scoundrel of a priest have to reveal such humiliating details? Really, all of them? Oh, a whole bunch here. Wait, Tatiana, did you really mean what you said about killing Elaine? I did, yes, but only after I watched his fanciful ideals crumble to dust in his hands. Unless you mean to strike me down before that happens. Oh, I would, hey, look out. Bastard. An ambush. Come on, we gotta tell Elaine about this. And you immediately leave the priestess alone. Why did you stop him? Had you only chosen to let me die, all the warriors would have died with me. Like I'd never let that happen. I mean, yeah, I've got my eye on you, but Elaine brought you on board for a reason. So I'm not gonna just stand around while some bandit sticks a knife in you. That's not what a friend does. Friend now, are we? You're more than charitable than I thought. But I assure you, the day will come that you'll regret ever saving me. Yeah, we'll see. I'm sure you'll change your tune by the time Elaine's done saving Fevris. Believe what you want. I'll be right beside him until then, watching his every last move. Whoops, wrong one. Renaud, I see you still wield the same lance you did 10 years past. Indeed I do. It would seem I kept it rather well maintained even whilst serving as Zenora's puppet. Does it not call to mind painful memories every time you gaze upon it? My pain matters not. The weapon serves as a reminder of the torturous acts I committed with my own 2 hands. It is a warning both for myself and for you. A warning to never forget the horrors we wrought. The innocent lives we stole away from families and loved ones. We must always remember their suffering for as long as we draw breath. There is truth in what you say, yet dwelling on such matters will one day shatter your very soul. My soul be damned, Hodrick. I've no longer the right to seek atonement, not after what I've done. Yet despite my sins, despite the foul torment I brought by my own citizens, I live on. Thus all I can do now is strive to sever the roots of evil at its source. And so I shall, even should it cost me everything, for my people, for my nation, and for my prince. But Renaud, enough. I've chosen the path on which I walk, yet I am ever grateful to walk it beside you. Your quill, your notebook, your gloves, a small patch, a button, a pendant you received from your wife. All that remains of you now are disjointed possessions, fading memories. If I could only hear you speak of them again, but one more time. Fighting for Ghislaine, are you? How has your faith in him continued to hold true despite everything you witnessed under his command? You ask that as though telling you will make any difference. Forgive me, I didn't intend to speak of him so coldly. Now you pretend to care, and fine. Fine then, I'll tell you. I once had 2 sisters, both around my age, until the plague took them from me, of course. Despair clung to me like a foul smoke, but onwards I walked to the settlement where the plague first rose. It was at the gates of the settlement that Ghislaine saved my life, and thus you chose to serve him in order to repay that debt. Yet were the victims of his experiment not innocent citizens like your sisters, how could you ever support such research? I mentioned before how Lord Ghislaine lost his wife to the plague, yes? Well, this is what she told him the day she fell ill. Once I'm gone, use my body however you must. Find a cure. Deliver our land from the curse which blights them. At first he refused, as any loving husband would, but after much internal strife, he tearfully did as she asked. From that moment forth he resolved to forge a path only he was capable of walking. He despised the disease with every fibre of his being, would not stop at nothing to see it eradicated, even enlisting the help of that horrid necromancer to do so. As things stand, there's little point in questioning the decisions of my past, and soon after joining your army, I received word from my men that they had completed the cure. Lord Ghislaine's wish had at last come true. It repelled the plague and the horrors of this reality, and for now, that is enough. Despite his methods, it's clear to me that your lord acted with naught but the utmost conviction. Pray forgive this old soldier his ignorance. And please, do what you must to honor Ghislaine's memory. I will. We're getting there. Oh god, where? Okay, a bunch down here. Damn it, it's cold. So this is snow, huh? It's almost like some kind of freezing white sand. Got a bit how the folks here deal with it all year round. Like we had any better desert. Kill you during the day, then chill you to the bone once night comes knocking. No matter what you're facing, people are always figuring out ways to adapt. That's what it means to being alive, I guess. Still, strange thinking we'd never be standing here if it wasn't for Elaine. You remember what the boss used to tell us? To get out of the desert, see Fabris for what it's got to give. And it made sense coming from someone who loved that place as much as she did. It pissed me off every damn time I heard it. It's because she knew something had to change, Magellan. Her whole life, she'd watched our people get treated like nothing more than lies and thieves. But us, we had the chance to show the world what that stretcher's sound means to us, to show them who we really are. If she seriously meant all that, then she should have just said so. Yeah, like that at work. Whole speech would have gone in one ear out and out the other. She was right though. Now come on, we got work to do. I must say, Yonisa, I'm still thinking about our most recent tea together. That cake you brought seemed every bit a real mushroom chocolate dirt and all. I'm glad you like it. I had it made especially for you, you say, the way his delicate flavor complements the tea. I suppose I should never have expected anything less. To be honest, I had such fun that day. I'm certain a smile still graced my lips as I fell asleep. It's good to see you still as excitable as ever. I have to ask though, did you enjoy yourself as well, Yonisa? You always seem to be finding ways to make me happy, but I struggle to tell if you ever actually have any fun yourself. Oh well, Talinda. You really have no idea, do you? What do you mean? Of course I had fun with you. How could you possibly ever think otherwise? It's merely I don't know. At times it seems as though you know me even better than I know myself, while I feel like I could barely tell the first thing about you. So that's how it is. Then listen well, Ethelinda. I don't need tea or cake or anything else to make me happy. All I need is you. So if you really care about how I feel, you'll keep that smile of yours as warm and as beautiful as ever. Ethelinda, I should have known you would say something to that effect, and I feel exactly the same. Now let us enjoy the evening stars together. Oh, Lady Melisandre. You okay there, Colm? Those hands get all any shaker you're gonna... it appears I've spilled my tea. Listen, you can worry all you want, but it won't change anything. So you might as well just relax, yeah? Yes, you're right. And at this juncture I've done all I can. Alas, Lady Melisandre has spurned my advice at every opportunity. No surprise there, most girls want to dress themselves before they head into town, you know? Besides, she's with Elaine, everything's gonna be fine. You really are overprotective, huh? You had kept an eye on me to make sure I didn't ruin her day. I'll tell you, there's nothing weirder than waking up to you trying to stop me from leaving my tent. Actually, I was just thinking I might make that up to you. You mean with the pie you just dropped? Sorry, I'm not sure I love the taste of dirt. Ah, my word, I would seem I owe you yet another... Oh, it would seem I owe you another apology. God damn it, fucking typos. I don't know if anyone's ever told you this, but you're not like most attendants. If anything, you're more like a dad losing sleep over his defiant daughter. Perhaps so, though as her aide, I shall gladly abide by any decision Lady Melisandre makes. I only pray her choice leads her towards happiness, not rejection. As you may be aware, I've stood in the service of House Melee since long before my lady's birth, and upon her arrival into this world, I was tasked not only with attending to her, but seeing to her education as well. Before that day, my work with House Melee was no different than any other profession. Yet having watched my lady grow into a fine young woman she is today, such marvels have brought me greater pride and greater joy than I have ever thought imaginable. Guess that explains why you care about her so much. Indeed, and I hope this conversation shall help you excuse my worry, even somewhat. Wait, don't bow, you're gonna spill your tea again. Feels as though as only yesterday that I walked with Queen Elenia on this very beach. I'm certain you know the burdens of governance that occupied much and more of her time on the throne. Yet our journeys here, infrequent as they were, surely provided her with the respite she so dearly needed. It was not often she eased her raw countenance, but here she would smile as if nothing could ever trouble her again. I hadn't realized this place held such meaning to her. Is that you, my queen? Is everything alright, Joseph? In all honesty, no. For a moment you appeared to mine eyes as Queen Elenia herself. Sorry, what? I understand it sounds mad, yet as I've said before, your resemblance to her is truly striking. And here you stand, regal and dignified as she once did, all those years ago. You honor me with the comparison, Joseph. All this talk has brought back memories, you know. Of what, I might ask? When Elaine and I were young, we spent much of our time playing in the garden at Grand Corain. And while we generally got along quite well, there was one day we found each other in a furious argument. It was over a game of chess, if memory serves me correct. Both of us were so determined to win, but we each took turns making illegal moves, hoping the other wouldn't notice. But we did notice, of course, hence the dispute. Ah yes, calm as Elaine may seem at times, he has a fiercely competitive side to him as well. Though on the occasion both of us were at fault, and Aunt Elenia punished us equally for it. She was always doing things like that, acting as just as kind towards me as she did to Elaine, and just as strict too. Almost like I was her daughter, not her niece. Right you are. I can still remember the feeling of her hand caressing my cheek, the warmth and the love. This is a sight I witnessed often as well. All my life I've tried to follow in her footsteps, to one day be every bit as strong and as gentle as a woman as she once was. You're far closer to the ideal than you may realize, Princess, as proved by my vision earlier. Say, Joseph, can't thank you enough for bringing me here. Ah, the scholar who once oversaw these ruins. And you're Selby, yes? Indeed. A simple nomad in pursuit of knowledge, same as you. I've heard some rather interesting tales from those who worked under your command, They claim you were desperate for your mother's approval. That she was the only reason you ever took interest in ancient history to begin with. Is there something wrong with that? Oh, not at all, the opposite, in fact. You see, I tend to grow so absorbed in my studies I often neglect the world around me. Friends, family, everything. So I was hoping you might teach me. Show me what it means to care for something beyond your own self-interest. I'm not sure I'm qualified for that. I only ask one thing, Hawk. Speak to me about your mother. If I can better understand how you truly feel about her, perhaps I can learn to take advantage of such emotions myself. Strange. Most people simply grimace and walk off at the first mention of her, and they certainly never ask to know more. Fascinating. Why is that, I wonder? I couldn't say. But I don't mind talking about her if that's what you want. Under one condition. You have to listen to every word of it, no leaving partway through. I think I'll be able to manage that. Oh, Bruno, is it truly you? It is an honor to see you here, my lord. Have you come to brandish your spear in the name of the local garrison? I know not who you are, but you taught me everything I know about the arts of war. Surely you must remember. The Renault you speak of is no more. Now be gone from my sight or be run through. You seem troubled, Renault. Is everything alright? 'Tis merely a man I encountered. As an Orion soldier seemed to have served beneath me during my years under their control. In truth, I had thought to inquire upon the details of their military, but one such as he couldn't possibly know much of value. Yet more than that, your rage took hold of you. I too have been approached by a former soldier of mine, an enemy who spoke to me with the utmost reverence and warmth. It was an odd feeling to hear such kind words from a man I bore no memory of. Yet when I encountered you, Renault, I found myself experiencing the contrary. The voice which met my ears was not that of an old friend, but a mere stranger who bore no memory of our time together. That realization brought me great pain indeed. Not only that, but upon your release from the spell, you came to us only under the guise of the wanderer Laurent. Tell me, Hodrick, does it anger you the way I cast my name aside in favor of simple anonymity? Indeed it does. More than anything, it angers me to think how close I was to losing you. For had you truly chosen to renounce your name, none could ever bring you back, not even I. Both of us lost years to Zenora's foul sorcery, Renault. Yet this is precisely why we live on, to reclaim what was stolen from us, rather than wallow in its absence. And for me, fighting at your side is one in which I do just that. Thank you, Hodrick. Oh, let me just get something. Okay. Holy crap, it's nearly been 3 hours and my alarm went off. But the time has come to retire, though no matter what weapon I wield, I look forward to doing it at your side. Clyde, oh my god, you have so many. Berenice. At times I wonder, Berenice, how would matters stand now had you never been cast from our order? Quite a question, that. If not for that fateful day, the two of us could have raised the banner of the liberation together, now strewn across the nation like so much scattered glass. Shattered glass. You think so? Nice work back there, old man. Keep that up and you'll get handpicked for the Royal Guard in no time. I mean, that is what you're after, right? Feels like Queen Elenia is the only thing you talk about sometimes. Quiet, girl. And would it pain you to call me captain for once? So I know they say Elenia is smart, but I still don't know about a woman leading our whole country. I mean, she's letting Drakenholt practically walk all over us. I've never been that spineless if I was in charge. What was that about our queen? Say it again, I dare you. You wanna fight, bastard? Elaine's little lapdog sure has some bark today, but you have the bite daily? Easy there, old man. Do you really want to throw away your shot at the Royal Guard over a pair of nothings? Damn the Royal Guard. I let those knaves speak of our queen however they wish. Guess I'll only got one choice then. That's enough, you two. Take back what you said, we can all walk away happy. Why should I? I was only speaking the truth, you know? Now come here, I need to do some... get some payback for earlier. Wait. Ha, too late. Ugh, you're gonna pay for that. If you're expecting me to thank you for your outbursts of yours, it won't happen. Didn't think it would, but hey, at least you still got a chance of making the Royal Guard. Besides, it turns out those two were up to some nasty stuff behind our backs. I've no sympathy for fools who can't understand the bounty our queen provides. They certainly have no right to serve her royal name. By the way, you gonna punish me or what? Fighting in the ranks probably gets me expelled, huh? Just like them. Such is the sentence, yes. Well, maybe it's for the best then. You go on and enjoy the capital. As for me, I think a mercenary fits me better than a knight. Even back then I knew you would never initiate a fight for that fair reason. I'm tempted to appeal as such on your behalf, but there was only so much I could say, having not been present myself. My words were dismissed as though they were mere air. Not that it would have mattered, of course. You never stopped insisting you had struck first. You were protecting him, weren't you? If only you had told the truth, Benares. Then what? I would have stayed with the Ashen Blue? Some good that would have done. We'd have lost the province to Zenora whether I was there or not. So yeah, I might have walked a different road, but all of them led right to the same spot. And I don't regret it if that's what you're wondering. The old man would have done anything for Elenia, and so would I. Oh god, there's so many. Oh god. Okay, when I hit hour 3, I'm just gonna stop. But we're getting there. I like to think. Though we often face those who capitulate to Zenora, a thought has only now occurred to me. I'm certain some of them surrendered not out of the true deference, but merely the wish to see those they love safe. Those we crossed spears with in our battle for the province were no different, I guess. With each combatant fell, I couldn't help but feel some distant sense of loss. Stay with me, but we can't afford to falter now. We take up arms to protect the weak, to deliver justice to those who stray from its light. But I won't tell you to just get over it either. Remorse is the natural part of warfare. And all involved, you must bear the weight of their actions and the consequences. Some reluctantly sided with Zenora to protect their families. Others did so much more willingly. But an enemy is an enemy, no matter the circumstance. There's only one end we can grant such adversaries. Oh my god, I'm getting tired. So, don't waver in your conviction, Clive. They would strike you down at the first sign of doubt. Indeed, I shall take heart in your words, as I always have. And if I may, Adele, I'm proud to name you a dear friend. Let's make it through this together, shall we? Oh, you got quite a few. You okay there, big guy? It's weird seeing you lost in thought like that. Let me ask you something, Travis. What are you gonna do once this war's done with? Straight into the heavy questions, huh? Can't imagine I want to give up the whole spying business. Maybe Elaine will bring me in as his personal scout or something. Not bad, yeah. Me, I've been thinking. I want to start the Tricons again. 3 of us, just like it was before the boss left. Yeah, I doubt everyone would come running back the moment we did. But if we get the whole world talking about us again, they just might. Don't worry, if your heart's set on serving the king, I'm not gonna stand in your way. No way I'm convincing the boss without you out of the picture. So what, you're planning on getting the band together all by yourself? Pretty good joke, that. What do you mean? What'd you say? Guy like you works best when you've got someone else holding the reins. Which was always my job, of course, and it's like I said before. Those days we spent playing the fool were some of the happiest I've ever known. What are you getting at? If you're serious about reviving Tricons, you can count me in. I'll convince Ren too, one way or another. You mean, yeah, I knew you'd come around. But let's focus on ending this war first, okay? Anything you say, Travis. Come on, we've got an empire to stomp. Ho ho! Enlighten me, villain. What are your thoughts on death by impalation? Damned angel, don't sneak up on me like that. As for your question, I can't say I've considered it. And perhaps you should. You may have earned Elaine's trust, thief, but you'll never earn mine. Look, I wasn't planning on getting stabbed here, if it's alright with you. And you don't have to keep whispering threats in my ear every time you run into me. So put the sword away, yeah? You make me sick, Matrin. Strolling around our camp without so much as a care in the world, I even considered killing you today and telling the others you were slain by bandits as you napped by the river. Already thought of a cover story, have you? If you really hate me that much, you're better off just leave me alone. People start thinking you're my guardian angel, you know. Now, but it's anything that's a rumor you don't want spreading. They can think whatever they want. All will be clear once I put an end to your miserable life. Lady Cleese, is that you out there? Sharon. I've got myself one hell of an admirer. Can't say I don't deserve it, but I gotta wonder how long she'll keep this up. Moment for your time, Brim. I believe I've come up with an adequate reward for you. Does it have something to do with all of these soldiers? Indeed it does. Members of our army have all found themselves on the receiving end of your magic. If you would, everyone. Lady Prim, we're forever grateful for your healing you provided us. A brave for Lady Prim. Long live Lady Prim. Well, what did you think? I have to say, I felt almost like royalty for a second there. It's just the kind of surprise I'd expect from someone like you, Sir Aramis. Seems you didn't enjoy it then. That's not what I meant, it was just quite a new experience for me. Still, I'm not sure I could handle a parade in my honor every time I want a reward. Yes, I suppose it wasn't the most practical of ideas. Spectacle aside though, I did enjoy being applauded like that. It reminds me of when I was young, actually. My sister always used to tell me when I'd done a good job, usually accompanied by a nice long hug. Interesting. In that case, I have no choice but to do the same. But are you sure, Sir Aramis? I am, though you'll need to let me know each time you accomplish something noteworthy. Only then will I be able to tell you what fine work you've done. This is getting to be a bit more effort than I bargained for. And before I forget, you only emerged victorious in yesterday's battle thanks to your magic. Performed admirably indeed, Prim. How glad I am to have freed such a gorgeous blossom from her dragonhold jail cell those many days ago. I am. Thank you, Aramis. I'm not sure my heart could handle receiving a reward like this with every new achievement. reading there? Ah, why you snuck up on me, spy? May have mistaken you for an enemy and cut you down. Sorry about that. I just get the feeling you're hiding something, or maybe a few somethings. I'm not sure what you mean. I'm a little more than a common soldier who enjoys the life of peace and quiet. Sure, common. You know, it's easier finding a single coin in the desert than a swordsman as skilled as you. And is that a Dragonhold fairy tale you're reading? The one about a solitary swordsman who rebels against the cruel despot and becomes king himself? An aspiration of yours, perhaps? You certainly have the talent, if nothing else. I think not. If anything, I'd say it brings Elaine to mind. He may be a prince, but the castle he calls home now lies in the hands of his enemy. And this struggle against Honora is our very own rising tale of revolution. And I thought there may be wisdom to glean even from fiction like this. Interesting idea, though that reminds me. There's an Aramis in that story too, just like ours. A relative of the main character, yes, the man turns to crime in order to protect his family. And in the end, burns at the stake for it. Yes, I remember. He was a good man, fiercely loyal, but didn't spare the merciless fate. Your parent must have been peculiar indeed to give you a name like that in Dragonhold. I'll agree with you there. Travis, you're hurt. You planning on telling me what happened or what? I overheard some people talking about stealing your armor. Thought I'd teach them a lesson, you know? Stop them from ever thinking about it again. Turns out there's not much I can do against a pack of thieves. Then why even try? I could have handled them myself. If anything, I'm the one who should have gotten hurt. Well, maybe now you can understand how I feel. Don't tell me this was on purpose. Nah, I'm not that eager to prove a point. Still, it doesn't feel good watching the only family you've got running themselves into the ground. Does it, Ren? It's like you're powerless. All you can do is let it happen. Though I will say, I think I'm starting to see how you feel too. If one of us is bound to get hurt, I'd much rather it be me. Travis, I'm sorry. I never realized the pain I was putting you through. If you really mean that, then stop. And I'm sorry too. This wasn't how I wanted this conversation to go. Damn it all. I thought myself I was doing this to protect him, but maybe it doesn't matter what I thought. Looks like this is goodbye. Wait, Ren, please. Can't keep doing this alone. Ah. You okay, Travis? I haven't seen someone scream themselves awake in years. Just a bad dream is all. I thought you were leaving me again. Oh, good. Now I'm giving you nightmares. Heh. What's so funny? Back while you were gone, everyone was the other way around. I'd always dream about being in the tricorns together, fighting side by side like nothing had ever happened. And what scared me most was waking up, realizing that none of it was real. I wish I could just live in my dreams instead of alone and on the outside. I had no idea. But now, no matter how bad a dream might get, you're always here when I open my eyes. I'll take that over how it used to be, any day of the week. Wait, doesn't this mean you'll be having nightmares for the rest of your life? Oh, can't say I envy that. But it's like you said, better than that than the alternative. Well, I can't fix everything. I can't stay with you. Besides, how else am I gonna make sure you're staying out of trouble? Thanks, friend. You have no idea how long I've been waiting for you to say that. To hear you say that. Ah, Galadmir, precisely the woman I was searching for. How might I help you, tell us? The truth of the matter is, I've realized something over the course of our travels with the liberation. What I once thought to be a journey to restore our homeland to its former beauty, in time blossomed to much more. No longer do I wish to return to the days of yore, but found a new Elheim where people of all races and creeds can live in harmony. Forgive me the query? But to my ear, it sounds like as though you seek to excise the roots of our very society. I do. The world continues to change with each passing day. You must ever strive to change with it, and I couldn't imagine doing so without you at my side. Me? But if you aim to disparage yourself, stop. You're a dear friend to me, Galadmir. One whose support and whose love I'll not bear to be without in the trying times which lie ahead. If I said something to offend? Not at all, Taras. It's merely that your kindness moved me to tears. Did it now? I hardly thought myself capable. Indeed, it is difficult to believe the little girl I once knew can truly deliver such touching words. It would seem you always consider me that same child. I'll not. You have grown to be an elegant woman, Taras, and a fine Tyrannos at that. Well, I suppose I'd rather relieved to hear that. And what of my proposal? Would you join me, Galadmir? Are you certain you wish to have me? I could want no other, and I hope to never lose your loyalty, your strength, and all your compassion. Then you never shall. Come what may, I will continue to serve this nation until the light departs from my eyes, both as your retainer and as your friend. I thank you, Galadmir, from the very depths of my heart. That's intimidating before, but I think I can do this. I'll finish off this whole section. I got time for like 3 more. Well, what do you think? Pretty amazing, yeah? I've never seen this much water in my life, except in your books, I mean. You mean the one the old boss gave you? Yep, and I always knew when I got my ship. When I got my ship, the two of you would be the first thing I took on board. Besides, what's the point of sailing the ocean if I don't got my friends here to enjoy it with? So this is the dream you were always talking about. The hell was that? Looks like we hit a reef, Captain. We're taking on water pretty fast. It's going down. Ah! Hey, where were we going? What the? It's all just a dream. You okay, Orbin? You're sweating like a damn pig over here. Lisa, you're alive! Wait, where's Magellan? Just doing a bit of shopping in town. Why? Hey, quit with your hugging. You're gonna make me all sweaty now. Sorry. That's what this is about. Some dumb dream where we all died on your boat. It's not funny. I really thought I went and got the both of you killed. Well, even if you did, I'm sure we wouldn't have minded going down with a friend. That's not the point, Liza. I just can't bear seeing you get hurt like that, especially knowing full well that it's my damn fault. What are you muttering about over there? It was just a dream. It was just a dream. Fuck's sake, game. Besides, you know, it'll take way more than that to kill us. Yeah, sorry. Anyway, when you do get to the boat of yours, you'd better get set sail alone, you hear me? Loud and clear. Also a reef in the deep ocean? Damn. Oh boy. Okay, I'll start clearing a few giant portions of it. Yeah, let's get Aramis out of the way. This is quite a revelation, Virginia. I never expected you to be so earnest and to wield the art I crafted in mere jest. I admit I had heard rumors of your unbridled ways, but I know them to be true myself. Trust me, I'm just as surprised as you are. But joke or no, the sparring session has more than proven their potential. My only worry is that luscious hair of yours. I trust it's not come to harm. There's no telling how my brother might react to such news. And what does Gilbert have to do with this exactly? Anyone would lament knowing a precious jewel has suffered damage not long after leaving their care. If he thinks me a jewel, he's awfully poor at showing it. Ah, of course, this must be another one of your jests. Don't take this the wrong way, Ludwig, but I much prefer you as you are now. You're far, far easier to get along with. Oh? Alarm went off again. Random? Well, not me. I have no fondness for stuff for the formality of roll call myself. Nor for your past self. But once I find myself at a loss for words, then just listen for a second. No matter what life you choose from here on, you'll always be Aramis to me. And that's how I plan to address you. As a simple sellsword, not the heir you once were. I'd like that very much, thank you. Now then, Virginia. You clearly have much to teach me, both in ways of the world and those of combat. I really hope we find the chance to spar again soon. We surely will, after all. I'd never shy away from an easy victory. Oops. Hold on a moment, is that you, Berenice? Ah, it is. We've not seen each other since you left the Order. Got booted from it, you mean? Guess this makes you right from the Liberation now. It does. Time felt right now that my province is rid of its cruel lord. If I may, though, you carry quite the blade. I take it you still bear little interest in cavalry work, then? Would rather stick to what I do best. Yep, me and horses don't really see eye to eye. Haha, I remember. The days of our trading you spent more time on the ground than in a saddle. Amusing, yes. Still, none of us could ever match your skill with a blade. Good thing is there's more to being a knight than clomping around on some dumb beast. Besides, I'm just a regular old mercenary now, and for me, and for us, steel's the only thing that matters. That's fair, yes. I'm sorry for even mentioning it. Seeing you just stir up some old memories. Don't worry about it. Gotta say though, it feels good being back on the same side. See you on the battlefield, Adele. I can't wait. Let's finish those two off. And I should. Well, I made a dent at least. It feels nice. I can get rid of these two immediately. Ha! You fighting ghosts out there or what? Ah, Berenice. I merely thought to sneak in a bit of extra training. As much as I hate to admit it, I'm still plenty to learn compared to more senior knights of the Liberation. Out of breath. So I only have one option: strive to reach the heights of my betters, or be left ever choking up their dust. Better answer than I was expecting. You know, I'm pretty big on training myself, though not really for the same reason. Always looking for anyone who wants to spar, you know? What do you say? I'd be glad to if you had a steed to face me on. Like I even need one. Word of warning though, think of me like some common soldier and I promise you'll regret it. I suppose that's what I get for making assumptions. Now let's begin. An impressive bout, Bernice. Not only did you load my charges and strikes at my flanks, but you even positioned yourself opposite my spear, all while keeping it a safe distance. Hey, you weren't so bad yourself. You and that horse of yours move with the same mind. Even more now than back in the days with the Order. Can't say I was expecting a fight that tough. That's high praise coming from you. Let me know if you want to spar again, eh? I'm not planning to choke on your dust either. Okay, next session I'll finish it off and then I'll make some story progress. But until then, I'll see you then, guys. Bye.